All right, y'all. I did it. I finished it. It's
She
done
did it. She finished
You
it.
did
Yeah.
it.
Momentum. When did this happen?
today.
Amazing.
It would have been sooner, but I got my lockets. I was in the locket mines, so to speak.
The damn locket mines.
It'll get you every time. I disappear for like a week.
Oh wait, her picture is kind of cut off. Let me see if I can do a better one.
Okay, so I
Still freaking cut off. Damn.
Ashley, I have to tell you something, and it might be when we finally beat the allegations.
Oh God, please.
Oh
It
boy.
better not be what I think it is. I'm panicking.
I think that I prefer Duncan Tansel too tall.
Well, okay. Hold on. Okay, so I do agree with you.
But she's not too tall for him. I just can't get over it.
I actually don't disagree with you on that. Also, because she's more age appropriate for him. I feel like
I didn't
I
even
feel
think
like
about that.
I feel like Rohan. I mean, yes, she's 25, but she's also lived like a full-grown woman's life
Yeah.
since she was 13 years old. A lot like Daenerys. I mean, she had her first baby when she was 13. So
Yeah. Their relationship felt very like she was patting him on the head all the time, you know?
I do think she loved him, or I think she had feelings for Dunk.
Yeah. And I
think
love
they
that he
were
took a
maybe-
braid. Like, I love that. And I was like, oh, and just that she had to fucking marry the guy. Like, I mean, the whole thing was just like, really? Just right
I
back when
think
we
if she had
started.
had it, like, especially when she looks at Dunk and she's like, if you were better born, I would marry you. I think that if she had it her way, she could have married him and been happy.
Yeah, I just, but that was like one of my first thoughts when I finished it. I was like, uh-oh, Ashley.
No, I agree that Tanzel is definitely more appropriate for Dunk. I get more of like the feelings from Rohan because Tanzel never really got to show any feelings because she abruptly leaves.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, like, obviously, like, Duncan and Rohan, they, like, actually kiss, and he's got her braid and all of these things. Something about that first little crush, I guess, and, like, just that we know, it just was ripped away from him, too. Like,
I
at least
guess
there was closure with Rohan. There wasn't any with, how do you say it? Tanzel too tall?
Tanzel too
Tanzel,
tall.
Tanzel. Yeah.
I have not yet listened to the audiobook, so.
I will say, like, especially when you listen to Harry Lloyd read it, like Rohan's voice breaks up as she's like, take her, take the horse. And like you hear his voice
Oh,
like break
yeah.
up like she's about to cry, like desperately trying to get him to take this horse so he doesn't forget her.
Yeah.
Like my heart, like I was crying my eyes out. I was like,
I
oh
think
my
too.
God, just take the damn horse.
I think too, like rereading it, I'll probably feel it a little more. Like, I think that's true for me with most things. I'm like a rereader, a rewatcher. I will like watch an episode of a show and immediately be like, okay, time for a rewatch. And I feel stronger each time, usually.
The book performance is like so good. I can't recommend it enough. And that being said, all I can remember about the Sworn Sword, not all I can remember, but the thing that always sticks out to me about the Sworn Sword from the audiobook is how Harry Lloyd says checky water a million times because of the stream that dries up. And I like having listened to the audiobook first, I had no idea what he was talking about. I was like, what the hell is checky water and why does
What
he
does
keep
this
saying it
mean?
like that? And until I recognized, like, oh, right, okay, it's just the stream. But, anyways,
The kids these days call it the chuggy water.
chuggy water.
Yeah, that's such a good. It's such a weird sounding like because I read them and I was like I don't know what I said in my head. I guess I said that, but it does sound just It's one of those things like Chelsea. You brought up what was his name, Sir something the Defiant, a Knight of Nunny.
Oh, Nunny, yeah. Well, because it was when it was meant to be an insult because he was now it was that in the Pussy Willows, the Night of the Pussy Willows.
Ah! Okay,
Well,
wait,
I don't
we
think
have
that's
we have so much to talk about with
I don't
that
think that's
because
supposed to
like,
be an insult, right? Because Nunny
Yeah,
is
it
just a
is.
place.
mhm.
Nunny is like a knapsack. A Nunny
No,
is like
he's like Nunny is actually a place.
oh.
Like I looked this up. It's like hold on, because you
At
got
first,
like
I
a
thought you were
Nunny,
saying
Song of Ice
the
and
night of.
Fire.
At first, I thought you were saying the night of Nunya.
Nunya, that would be great. Yeah.
Eric's starting off
The
real sassy
oh,
already.
that would be perfect. Sir Argrave the Defiant, the Knight of Nunya.
He's so
No,
defiant. He just keeps telling me it's none of my business.
this is what I said. Nunny is a place in the Reach. Nunny was once the eastern extent of House Osgrey lands, actually. And then Sir Argrave the Defiant was from Nunny. That's literally, that's the only info we have on Nunny.
Okay, so Chelsea, now that you've read all three, just thoughts on which one is your favorite?
I think probably the Mystery Night.
That honestly, like, it's so hard for me because I love all three.
Yeah, I like
Like,
them all different. I like them all differently because I really like the Hedge Knight too.
Yeah, the Hedge Knight and the Mystery Knight to me are the most like
Okay, I'll
um
say this.
action movie kind of plots, I think.
Mhm.
I think the Hedge Knight made me feel the most feelings. Like
I
oh
the
agree.
yeah.
whole when the whole thing with Baylor happened, I was like shocked, and it's been a while since I read something and was like shocked. Probably like the first time I read A Song of Ice and Fire, not the first time, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I just kind of sat there for a second. I was like, his brain just fell on the floor. Like, ooh, his brain
When
just
he
fell out.
said that his fingers felt like wood, when he was
Would
like, "Can you please help me get my helm off? Like my fingers, they feel like wood." I knew something was wrong when I read it the first time. I was like, "Wait, what's going on? Why do his fingers feel that way? What's happened? Like he had some kind of blunt force trauma to the head?" Like, because something's happened. But I still, even then, I never imagined that he'd be dead. Like, that still did not cross my mind. I just thought that maybe he'd had a head injury, but I didn't imagine that it was like his whole brain falling out.
I mean, honestly, I was reading it so fast that I didn't even know what to expect. I was just like reading. I'm like, yep. Oh my God, wait, what? Wait, Starry, what? His what fell? Where? It's very like, wait a minute. Go back and reread it. So yeah, I think that one made me the most emotional because again, I really just can't get over the very brief exchange between Dunk and Makar. Like, I
Yes.
think that might be my still, even after reading, the other two, I think that's my favorite, like, little excerpt is that.
Oh, I
It just
love
really
that.
got me for some reason. I don't know, the honesty of it and I don't know. I think Makar is a really interesting character. I'd love to know more about him. Um,
I really enjoyed Makar. I definitely didn't like him when we were first introduced. I was like, "You're a pompous ass,"
He's the
but
cool Stannis.
he has
yeah,
He is. He's cool, Stannis.
it. Yeah,
totally.
he's what Stanish wishes he was, and he has hair. So
That
there's
totally tracks. That's so funny because I was just about to say, like, he's so, he's always described as like sulking, and that's also very Stannis coded.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that Makar just has like a lot of complex feelings, and especially when it comes to Baelor, like he's blaming himself because he probably feels somewhat responsible because he didn't hold back, but he's also trying to figure out, like, was it an accident or did I really want to hurt my brother? Like, was I really that mad at him? Like, there's definitely a lot of complex feelings there. And like obviously there are too with Arion. Like he was hoping so much for Arion to be like his star son, and he I think ignored a lot of the warning signs with him. And so like and then to actually have to face it and have to look at it, be forced to look at what his son really is, that's hard.
Yeah.
Makar's yeah, the like double inferiority complex of like I'm a fourth son and my brother is like the shit, everybody loves
The
him,
best. Yeah.
coupled with my sons are not like living up to expectations. So it's like he
Yeah.
has this like sort of double uh complex of like he isn't capable of like living up to the expectations or like living up to what his brother is, and his kids are constantly disappointing him,
Disappointing him for
where
sure.
like and so he's like any avenue towards his respectability or whatever you want to call it is just constantly being sort of like undermined, and he feels sort of out of control, I think, of all of that. And so it's, obviously very George that that is the guy who then becomes king. And it is his son that he didn't expect to ever be considered for positions of power who ends up in power um, after him. So yeah, it's such a very George thing. But the the insecure guy is the one who is going to rule.
I
Classic.
don't. Okay, so now in the chat, is Makar just Stannis with hair? I don't think so because Makar makes a lot of decisions that Stannis never would have made. When Makar is faced with the reality that Dunk hits him with, of, hey, look at how your other kids turned out. Like, do you
Yeah,
really?
Stan gonna let Shireen go off like a
No,
fucking hedge knight or patch
no,
face and like what am I trying to say? Gallivant across the goddamn
Jolly Van.
Westeros?
Makar.
Like, I don't think so.
Jolly man.
Jolly Vant.
Makar
It's
is
Listen,
going to
I
be
use
a
faced
that all
Jolly
the
with
Van
time.
across Westeros.
the difference is that Makar is capable of growth and he's faced with, I mean, a few decisions and he makes the right choice each time when he's faced with the reality of like, you should probably do this because it didn't work out for you that time. Like when it comes to Bloodraven and keeping him on as Hand of the King, he didn't like Bloodraven. He couldn't stand him. But at the same time, I think that Makar, like obviously we don't know this because we don't have the context for why he kept him on. But I think that Makar probably saw that Bloodraven was capable of doing what he didn't do, and that's the necessary thing. Like, and Makar realizes and understands that his honor got in his way before, and that's what cost him a brother. And so he decided to keep Bloodraven on because Bloodraven's always going to make the decision that's practical, whether it makes him unpopular or not, whether it's honorable or not. He's always going to make the practical choice.
And I
So
think
I
too,
think, oh, go ahead.
one of the big differences between Stannis and Maekar is who their brothers were and the relationships that they had with their brothers.
Yeah.
Like, Baelor tried. Like, it was very clear that he put a good deal of effort into trying to have a strong relationship with a brother who was clearly so different from him, and that he, like, I felt like in the brief exchanges that we saw, like, it was pretty clear he just accepted that that's how Maekar was, and he was like, this is my brother, he is my brother, and so, he's just going to do that. And then I'll pull Dunk aside and be like, look, my brother is my brother is my brother, so I got to do this battle.
Mhm.
And just like the dynamics, the brotherly dynamics being so different, I think account for the biggest differences between Stannis and Maekar.
I also think that Makar loved Baelor. There may have been some resentment there, but he loved Baelor.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I think that that's a part, like, that's what he battles with because he loved his brother, but he was also angry with him. And, all the feelings. Makar will make you feel all the feelings.
Hmm.
So, very complex character, and I really enjoy him. So, I can't compare him to Stannis because.
No, I mean, they're definitely like there are, I feel like the
There are
things that a lot of people
similarities.
describe that they like about Stannis that I can be like, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. You can get in him
Yeah.
and then some.
Hmm. The speaking about like which one you like the best, it feels like I think you hit the nail on the head, Chelsea, with just talking about the feeling being the like what is so important and so like makes the first one so endearing. Um, the third one is like so good because it's the perfect execution of the Forrest Dunk, of like a guy who is accidentally at this very,
Yeah.
very pivotal event, right?
Just
Like,
blunders into it with a prince in
What?
disguise.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
what a plot. Just like, yeah, we're gonna randomly go to a wedding and oh no, we foiled the second Blackfire Rebellion.
yeah,
okay, okay. Which
Oh, and
this
can
is
we
the
talk
perfect
for a minute
opportunity for me to
about
say
Dunk's
this.
bi panic? Like
I
just a minute about his bi panic because he goes like he literally looks at him and he's like for a second he wants to tug on his hair and I'm like
we know what that means.
I know what you thought
We know
about
what
Dunk.
hair tugging means for you. Okay,
Dunk's
so
like Dunk's
it
like why
was.
do you think that? Banish that thought.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad enough where John the Fiddler's boyfriend is like, "Hey, lay off. Like, back up, tall boy."
call boy. What was that thing he said about how we could howl like dogs all night long or something?
Yeah.
I was like, calm down.
Yeah, be my dog. We could be my dog. We could howl all night or something like that.
I love John. I'm
Pouring cold
sorry.
water
I
on
will
his
take no
ears.
I will take no criticism of Damon the Second. I will take none.
I texted the group and was like, who the fuck is this John the Fiddler? And his dragon dreams. Who is he? Also, again, I really enjoyed this one because of just like there was more dragon lore and stuff, you know? Like one of my favorite parts is just the descriptions of the eggs. Like now I have like, I want to make egg locket. You know what I'm saying? Because it's white and green. So it's like Viserion and Rhaegal together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want to see that egg. Hello, fan artists, if you're listening, I'd love to see the dragon eggs from the Mystery Night because they all sound cool.
Yes.
Arian's it looks as though it's made of gold and silver with veins of fire running through it. Yeah, I bet it did.
Okay, so like we've talked about those two, but we haven't really talked about the Sworn Sword. And I mean, obviously, Chelsea wants to make a locket for Sir Bennis of the Brown Shield. Like, obviously, that's
What can I
your
do for
number
his
one
teeth?
locket that you want to make. And Chelsea, for authenticity, you might want to use like the frog hands to make it nice and stinky.
Smelly. Yeah, I do still have them. I have them in like this container, and I'm just like, what am I going to do with these?
Like, heat them up, and put them in that locket for Sir Bennis.
Stop. Send it to someone I hate. His marketing. It's a
There
free
you
locket.
go.
What are you talking about?
Put it in a box.
Yeah,
But,
I would
like,
do that to ship it. I would put it in a box here.
Thoughts on the Sworn Sword, like favorite characters, feelings, all that good stuff. What were your thoughts on it?
I mean, I liked it, and I liked the Weber plotline. I liked learning about. I liked what's his name,
Sefton.
that, and then also
Yes!
okay, what's the knight's name that he's sworn to in it? Oz.
Osprey.
Yeah.
Osprey.
Sir Eustace.
Eustace.
Eustace,
Osprey.
yeah, okay. So his whole recounting of Damon's death was good. I loved that. But I guess what it is that one feels more removed from stuff I care about, if I'm being honest. Like it's just more removed. It doesn't have any other Targaryens. It doesn't have any other, the other two stories you're learning so much more about other characters and other, I don't know, kind of like things that I think are more applicable to the main series. Like there are things from the Hedge Knight and from especially the Mystery Knight that I will apply to ideas about the main series, and I don't think I'll do that with the Sworn Sword as much.
I think
I don't think we've seen the last of certain characters from the Sworn Sword. Like, I don't think we've seen the last of Rohan. I think we'll see Bennis of the Brown Shield. Like, if we ever get more Duncan Egg novellas, I think we'll see a run-in with Bennis because obviously there's unfinished business there.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I definitely think that there are like little pieces. I would really like to see Sefton again. Like, I'm not too confident we'll see him again, but man, like that was a character.
Yeah, he was great.
I think the thing with the Sworn Sword is that the Hedge Knight is called the Hedge Knight, and yet Dunk does exactly zero Hedge Knight activities. Like because he gets in a fight before he can joust with a prince, right, and gets arrested, and then has to fight in a trial by combat with the heir to the throne slash hand of the king, like, and a Baratheon and like all of these people involved, the King's Guard, everything. Like, so he's not taking part in like hedge knight activities. So I feel like the Sworn Sword is meant to be more of a slice of life of like this is what he actually has to do to like make
That's fair.
money
Yeah,
and like
that's
travel around and stuff, and it's meant to be maybe a lower, because it's like I think he does.
lower
George
stakes.
probably has a level of like, I don't want everything to be Forrest Dunk. Of he's not at every big thing that happened like this century or whatever. Um, but at the same time, like I definitely think in if this were in the context of five, six, seven novellas, it would probably feel a lot more like complete, because it's like, oh, we've got these building blocks of like how Dunk's travels and how him and Egg like interact in these things, and where they got up to trouble. Um, but in the three, it just stands out as the one of the three that doesn't have these like more consequential sort of things where, Hand of the King dies, or, Heir to the Throne and Hand of the King dies, and Blackfire Rebellion
Yeah.
gets thwarted.
Yeah,
So it's like the stakes
I'm
just
hoping like
feel a little bit off when it's out of one of three.
I'm hoping that the Winterfell novella kind of feels like that too, like kind of separated. Like we get kind of a side story because I enjoy a good Duck and Egg story no matter what.
Yeah, I would
That's
honestly, I was thinking when Phil was talking, I was thinking, yeah, like I'd like to see something like that in Dorne. They talk so much about Dorne.
Hmm.
for me coming back to it. That's the thing that I really like about the Sworn Sword is that it's so not like the other two, because the Hedge Knight and the Mystery Knight are both kind of, I feel like they have the same kind of pacing. They're both, they go to do one thing and then they get forced into something else, right? And that,
Yeah,
this one is
I
way
want to
more of like
know. I
way
want to
more of
know
like
what.
Eustace in the bush with the blackberries, and then like it's him like thinking about hard chess, uh,
Abs.
as well as like this Septon whose sister is in this weird situation and he keeps farting all over the place. Like it's just so like not like the other two that I love it for what it is, but it is one of those things where I'm like, I feel like it should come like later in the series, but that's neither here nor there. That's the but it's
I
not even
love
like I'm just spitballing here because my favorite is still the Mystery Knight, but it's just because the
Yeah.
stakes are so high. Because
Yeah.
it's just like that's a huge the second Blackfire Rebellion, because we know how many there were. So it's like I don't know. I was on a plane, so I couldn't like react. But when I figured out that because I didn't know anything about the plots before I read them like a year ago, and I was just like giddy and I was like trembling and I was like, oh my fucking god, because it was so cool figuring
I
out that
loved
that
it
was
when
what was going on.
I loved it when Rohan looked at him and she goes, "And you, Septon, have the largest mouth of Westeros." And he was like, "Well, a large belly requires a large mouth." I just like
Cool.
I love their interactions between the two of them because it's very brother sister how they like banter back and forth. That's probably the only person that Rohan can really trust.
I like I like to in this word sword, the one thing that is definitely explored is Dunk's struggle to pick. He wants to pick the right side, and he doesn't. It's not exactly clear who's in the right all the time, in these sort of squabbles between like noble houses, because ultimately they're both kind of trying to like screw the other over, and there's going to be like regular people who are harmed in the process. Um, and they don't really care. Like neither side necessarily cares, and he ends up just choosing the side where he thinks he'll do the least harm. Right?
Yeah.
Like he
He's
ends
like
up just.
he's practicing harm reduction. He doesn't even know it.
Yep. So that's it's like I think exploring that as well, because Dunk is just he's the study in a knight who is like truly trying to just be like a good knight. Um, which is basically non-existent in the rest of the Seven Kingdoms. There just isn't a guy who ever does that. So I like
Yeah.
that they like explored that dynamic too of he swears his sword to somebody and then is like, "Oh no, I swore an oath and I think I chose the wrong side and I don't know what to do now." But like, yeah, ends up just sticking with it because he's like, "I'll hurt more people if I switch." So, yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic that they explore, but it is not it definitely doesn't have the sort of over the top feel of certainly the Mystery Knight is just one of those stories where you get done reading and you're just like, God damn, that was awesome. Like everything about that was so cool. Like
So my
so.
genuinely my first thought after finishing The Mystery Night was I don't know how there are people who have read these novellas and don't think that Young Griff is a Blackfire.
Mm,
Like you can't I don't know how you can read that story and not think it's going to come back around.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what made me so convinced, because I used to say, like, in like my earlier days in reading the books, that I wasn't sure that it could go either way, and then I read The Mystery Night and I was like, oh yeah, like there's no doubt about it. And it's so fitting. It's like that's why George gave us the Blackfire rebellions, because why on earth would we have them if we weren't going to get a sixth?
Well, and because you
The
even see
entire point is for it to culminate in a final Blackfire rebellion.
and even in this one with Damon too, like he dyed his hair and he wore clothing to either enhance or play down the purple in his eyes, which is like exactly what Young Griff does too.
Yeah.
He chooses blue because it makes his eyes look bluer than, purple. But I don't know how you could read that and not be like, oh duh, okay, yeah. Like I
Yeah.
already very much believed he was a Blackfire. I get what you're saying, Ashley. I don't think I ever really thought that Young Griff was like actually Rhaegar's kid, but I did kind of entertain the idea of him just being like a random fucking Valerian looking kid from Dragonstone, which I think might have been something that George was playing with in the beginning, but then when he wrote this novella, like no one can change my mind that he had settled on Young Griff being a Blackfire and not coming back around.
Oh, I kind of had the idea that like he was an imposter, like he was a dragon seed, or like there was all kinds of speculation about who he could be. But then you realize the similarities between him and John, and it's like, or John the Fiddler, I mean, and it's like, yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
know it's coming. And I mean, what's the point of even having the Blackfire rebellions if you are not going to have the sixth and final one?
agreed.
This,
So it's gotta culminate into one final battle, and it's gonna be the coolest one because it's gonna be fought on Dragonback.
maybe. But
No,
the
it's
thing
not.
is,
Oh, definitely,
the thing
definitely.
is,
This is a canon event.
this is a important lesson in how George's gardening works
yeah,
because something as huge as the Blackfire rebellions, Dunk, knowing that that Sir Arlen's squire was killed there, and it's tied into the plot here. Um, None of that is mentioned in the Hedge Knight. None at
right.
all, because it didn't exist at the time. Because he had just that the Hedge Knight was written between or written after, like during when he was writing Clash. He was about to publish Clash, so they published that in between Thrones and Clash. Um, and then these next two were published alongside Feast and then Dance. So
that totally tracks because even in Clash, he's just the Mummer's dragon, which could be a Blackfire or a
Yeah.
dragon. It just means a fake dragon. He's just an imposter, right?
honestly,
So
and with the Hedge Knight, the ending of the Hedge Knight, Arion being sent to Lys, it seems like this was all like he was playing with this part of the plot anyways in the Hedge
Mhm.
Knight. It's just it
yeah,
was like which is a commonly held popular idea that Aegon was going to be a descendant of Arion.
Arian. Yeah, someone
Right.
was arguing with me about that the other day, and I was like,
Which
look, I think that formerly that could have made sense, but now it would just come out of fucking left field and make no fucking sense for what has clearly
yeah,
been established as a Blackfire plot point.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
Yeah.
now done two novellas, layering in a bunch of Blackfire stuff, and
yeah,
then directly mirroring in the Mystery Night a character that he introduces, because that's when Aegon comes into the story, right? Is in Dance. So the
Mhm.
Mystery Knight
Yeah.
came out before Dance. So
Mhm.
Now you could probably argue that
same with
Illyrio,
Bloodraven. Same with Bloodraven, right?
Illyrio might be a descendant of Aerion. Like you don't know. Like Aerion had probably a lot of bastard kids while he was over there. But yeah, I think that Varys, there's a chance that Varys is a Blackfire, and then Aegon definitely is.
Yes, Varys is not a merman. Varys is a mermaid, and she is Aegon's mother.
Mother.
Exactly. There you go.
Okay, and so then
With
another part that I really liked about the Mystery Night was when Maynard Plum's glamour started to slip a little bit. I was like,
Oh yes, the
I've seen that before.
shining moonstone.
Did you
I liked
pick
that a lot.
up what clues as to his identity did you pick up on?
Honestly, I feel like I knew too much. Like I knew from the beginning that it was
Yeah.
because I knew
Right.
too much. So I can't really say because I was
But it
looking for it.
is
But I
it is
mean,
one
like,
of those
which
things
ones
too
did you
where
do you remember? Do you remember the one? Because I was listening to it and I was just like, I was finding a bunch of them.
I think it had something to do with. I'm trying to.
I think my favorite one is the "We'd all be bastard."
Yes,
If
when
that
he,
was true, we'd all
maybe
be
we
bastards
are.
of Aegon
Maybe,
the
yeah,
Fourth.
maybe we are. Yeah, that was
Maybe we
funny.
are.
it's so
Like,
good.
There was
yeah.
this moment though where where Maynard Plum, he was, I should have, I didn't want to highlight in this, and I kind of wish I would have. I earmarked, but then I'm like looking at the page, like, but what part, Chelsea? What part? Um, anyway, John the Fiddler says, or not John the Fiddler, no, Maynard Plum said something really gross and flippant and like sexist, and I was like, oh, please, I'm telling Shara, like, who are
Oh, did you
you
find any
to talk
flour?
about a woman
He
like
said,
that?
he
You
said, did you
simp.
find any
Like,
flour on her teats?
yes, that is what it
Mhm.
was.
Wait,
It
what
was
was
that.
it?
What was it, Ashley? Say it again.
He said, did you find any flour on your teats when you got her clothes off?
Yeah, because it
referring
was
to
like the
the baudy
fucking.
story about
About
the
her and
the Frey
her
wife.
and the pot boy.
And I was like, yeah, locker room talk, I'm sure. Yeah, you're not fooling anyone. We all know. We all know.
For me, it was when Maynard tells Dunk that, and they also questioned how much Lord Bloodraven knows about the plot, and
Yes.
the answer to that is a great
A
deal.
great
And
deal.
then I was like, huh, huh.
Oh, something I thought was
Who
really
are
interesting was
you? Who are
they
you, sir?
described Maynard Plum as melting into the night. And I was like, that's a weird melting into the night.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a really interesting choice of words because you know what else melts into the night are the others. And I just thought that was like really interesting. I also
But
don't,
also
I
Bloodraven's
just don't know if
Bloodraven's
I
the
like
villain.
Bloodraven, to be honest with
Bloodraven's the
you.
villain.
But in the
I don't know if I
prologue
like
of
him. Like
Peace,
I went into this like okay, I'm gonna meet Bloodraven, and I met him, and I was like, eh.
He's a
you don't
villain.
love him. You don't love. I mean, I don't personally love Bloodraven either. Like, I have very complex feelings when it comes to Bloodraven. Like, I romanticize him and Shiera, and he makes some decisions that I agree with, but for the most part, I'm like, screw you, dude. Like, I don't like you very much.
I just
Speaking,
I was like, you're just kind of a little prick. Was kind of how
yeah,
I felt about it, you know, like everything he
He's
said, which
no,
maybe
at
that
all.
could grow on me. Like you know, Jamie's a right prick too in the beginning, and I love him, but and John's totally can be a prick, but I don't know. I just John's
I
kind of a brat, actually. You know,
John is such a brat.
I'm kind of sick of him. I after I finished this, I went back because I have a few POVs left of Dance with Dragons that I need to finish. I've been dragging ass, which Phil, it is because it slows down. It's that video you had the other day about it
Yeah.
slows down. I'm like chugga chugga choo choo through the other ones, and then this one I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm trying to go up this hill. Um,
Yeah. It's a rough like there's obviously the big stuff at the end which you like get to and it feels like it speeds back up, but it's just like there's like in that last quarter of the book, there's just a lot of chapters where I'm like, is he also, does he want me to finish the book? Like, I don't know that he does.
I'm not feeling the commitment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
I loved this. I'm really glad that I finally read it, which I knew I was going to. Y'all were like, "She's not gonna do it. She's not doing it. Look at her face. She's not gonna do it."
Look at
And
her
look
face.
at
I agree with
this.
that.
so
Bloodraven is like an evil advisor for good kings. Yeah, that exactly it. Like he's like, I'll do the necessary thing that other people don't want to do because I'm a prick.
I mean,
Jafar.
I do love that he kind of gets like that. He has this shadow around him that's usually given to women, the like sorcery and like he embroiders spells, dances with the devils kind of thing. Like is following a man, which is a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Oh, and that thing he
Probably,
said,
which he
there was the thing
probably
he
only
said,
has because of Shiera.
there was that thing that he said about, it was after when it's like actually Bloodraven speaking, and he's like, well, you can't be surprised, you know, that eventually a Blackfire would be a dreamer. And I'm like, oh, LOL. Yeah, I bet you would say that because you're bastard born and magical on both sides. And I do love
Yeah.
how Dunk is always correcting Egg. He's like, he is not
Oh
baseborn.
yeah, he's not
He's
baseball.
bastard born, but he's not baseborn. He was born on the right side of the sheets or whatever the hell he said.
Wrong side of the sheets, but he was. They were both nobles.
But in the right bed, but on the wrong side of the sheets.
The right bet. Yeah, that's what it was. But one thing that I think I like about Bloodraven is that he's like nuts, and that in the sense that like, why is he there? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But he doesn't. He
It's
probably
so
doesn't need to
unnecessary.
be physically there. I don't know what his powers are right now, but like, I don't know if maybe he can't command one bird yet or whatever. Like he could know about this stuff from far away, probably, and
Mhm.
but yet
Want
he's
to be right
there
up in it.
wearing a glamour where he could easily be found and killed immediately by those people.
I think for Bloodraven, he like for him personally, I think this was all in good fun. I think he was just there to have a good
Yeah,
time.
He
I
seems
really
like he's
do.
in his element.
He's a messy bitch.
I
He likes to
think,
play dress up,
he
yeah.
likes to be. I really do think he likes to be in the thick of it. Maybe not all the time, but he was like, you know what? This is about to be a shit show. I want to be there.
It is like a crazy arrogant move
Oh
to
yeah.
show up in disguise at like a plot that you know about already. It like yeah, just the unnecessary risk taking. I think it is truly him enjoying himself, which
100%. And I bet he
yeah.
thought, even if I do get
But
caught, good, because how many eyes do I have? I can be anywhere, you know, like, look at me, I just popped up, and it is
Yeah.
me, motherfucker. Like,
like I look, he's at this point he is Hand of the King, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So like the Hand of the King going to like the tourney where they're going to be plotting a rebellion, and they're
And it's
all
like
going to
the
be
wedding
there.
is
Like
of like a fray and a butterball or whatever the hell they're called.
Butterball.
What
Oh,
did you hold
that
on?
was-
Hold on.
Butterwell,
I
but
immediately,
yes.
Butterball, butterball. I don't
immediately
know.
need to know if you clocked who the little chinless shithead was. Please tell me you clocked it.
The chinless
little-
shithead.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
chin-
little fray boy.
the chinless snot
The child,
nosed little.
the child you're supposed to hate, Chelsea. The like,
Oh my god, is that Walter Frey because he's so old?
It is
Yes,
Walter
that's
Frey,
3-year-old
girl.
Walter
Shut
Frey.
up, I have to go
Frey.
back now. I didn't catch that at all. I just wasn't even looking for it because
that
I
is
forgot he's
Walter
so fucking old.
Don't you hate him even more now for being
Yes.
his like he's the reason why his sister had to marry a man in his 50s.
Of course he was. And then
Yeah.
he's like, I'm going to carry on that tradition until I'm 150 because I'm a scourge upon the fucking planet and won't die.
Yeah. And then Dunk, oh my gosh, my favorite part is when he's like squealing and laughing, and Dunk's like, I literally want to throw this kid down a well.
All right, take it easy. Take it easy in the comments, you guys. All right. I was trying to get through it. Okay. I was reading real fast. Walter Frey
When did
was like
you-
the last fucking thing on my mind.
You know,
Chelsea, how did you not notice the child
With the snot nose and the no chin, I don't know. I was like, cool. He sounds like every other little fucker in here.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
Dunk was like, I'm so sick of this freaking kid. I'm gonna throw him down a well, and I was like, do it, please. I knew he wasn't gonna do it, but I was begging him to do it. I was like,
Threw the
please
wrong
do
person
it.
down the well. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Blood
liked
Raven
that whole
has him
exchange
throw.
too at the well. Sorry if you can hear Torby. He's
Oh.
got opinions.
And I just thought about
Also
this.
hates Walder Frey famously.
Yeah, he's like, shut up, leave her alone. Why would she have realized that was Walder Frey?
I just thought about this too. Alan Cockshaw. Is it that his last name is
Yeah.
Damn it, George. Damn it. Like,
Yep.
of course.
Would you
of
kill
course-
baby Walder? Knowing what I
Yeah,
know.
what is that? Hold on. What is that? WYKBW. Why is that on a bracelet?
George is really diabolical with these damn names, man.
Cockshaw,
I remember
Cocksure.
a funny thing when I was reading it the first time. I was like, "This is a big castle. I wonder what where is this castle? I wonder what happens to this castle."
She gone.
Blood Raven's like,
Wow,
yes,
okay.
exactly. What castle?
Damn.
What castle? Blood Raven's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What castle?
I think in this one, like speaking of the co-conspirators, like it's the Blackfires all day, every day. I literally have a black dragon over my shoulder, and the peaks can get fucked. I hate House Peak with a burning passion, and like I
Gormy!
honestly,
Stormy.
if I'm looking for
Gormy!
if I'm looking for a scapegoat in why the Blackfire rebellions failed, I'm hanging it on the Peaks door. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's why all
I
of
will
this
too.
happened.
I will too. I will like Gorman was entirely too confident that was going to work, and I think he encouraged Damon when he shouldn't have. I mean, I understand why Damon had the thought process that he did, because he was like, I was right about the one dream where my brothers died, so I've got to be right about this dream. But in all honesty, without the sword and without Bittersteel's support, they should not have gone there.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done it. That was a mistake, especially because I like Damon a lot. Like, Damon the Second's a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's not a fighter like his father, but I think he could have been a good ruler. And I think that's what makes it all so sad, is that he had the capability of being a good king. He just wasn't a good warrior. And for some reason, that's seen as inferior. And that's the same reason why Daron II is seen as inferior, because he wasn't a good warrior. And it's crazy because he could have been just as capable as Daron, but no one wanted to see him that way because he couldn't fight. Like, it sucks. And I do lay that at the feet of Gorman Peak as well, because like, you're the adult in the situation. This is a very young man. Like, it was your job to say, you know what? Like, we need to slow down.
A young
And-
man who's like
Yeah.
obviously eager to like, avenge his father and take up that mantle
Yeah.
in his name, like definitely being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Depending on the release and whether this gets included in House of the Dragon, so light spoilers for House of the Dragon, but if like there is a world in which people are going to learn to hate Unwin Peak
I
and
was
Gorman
just
Peak
thinking
on
that.
TV at the same time,
When you started
Like-
talking hate on the peaks, I was like, oh, Unwood.
Unwin and Gorman back to back of people just hating on Peak characters
When I catch
all at
you.
once. Yeah,
I will
exactly.
say,
Everyone
I
invest
will
in
say
the
it's
peaks.
funny.
Peaks
Like,
are about to take off.
I will say it is so funny how Damon will sit there and roast both Alan and Gorman Peak. He's like, Gormy, like, chill out, man. Like, don't even listen to Gormy. Like, I want you to come with us and have a good time. Like, don't listen to him.
Yeah,
Here in the chat, Lord Corvinus, I love how Peak was dissing Bittersteel because Bittersteel thought their plan was dumb. When he's saying like, even he didn't even want to come over with the sword, and he's like, well, bastards are bastards, once we win, he'll come over. Good luck,
Yeah.
pal.
No, the whole point is that he doesn't have the sword. And that's the reason why I think the Sixth Blackfire Rebellion is going to be so volatile, because he'll have the crown, he'll have the sword, he'll have everything he needs to be the most authentic Targaryen king, and this is going to be post Cersei burning down King's Landing with Jon Con. So people are going to be looking for a leader to turn to, and that is absolutely going to be young Griff, 100%.
I need a fan artist. I'm probably going to have to commission it myself, but I need a fan artist to make the image from the Battle of Steel in the fan fiction. It's a big black, it's a painted black elephant with a Targaryen banner. It's got a chamfron with that's like cohort metalwork, and then he's up there with the crown. They washed his hair. He's not wearing a helmet, but we got to see his hair. He's got the sword. What's his name? Harry Strickland's got Bittersteel's skull, and yeah, it would be fucking
Yeah,
dope.
the
That's dope.
skull. The
That
skull
would
is a
be
good
that,
touch.
that would be so cool, but change the elephant to Rhaegal.
No. But this is the Battle of Steel. He's only got they just got the
All he has
elephant
right now are
guns.
elephants. He doesn't have Rhaegal yet.
Not yet. Also,
He and
that's not gonna
Rhaegal, he
happen.
and Rhaegal gonna link up.
I like my
They're
idea
gonna
better.
link up. Mark my words, they're gonna link up. They have so much in common.
Okay, but we
Tyrion
all
Martell
we
has
all
egg on the
agree
front of
in
their
this
crown.
in this chat and in this group of people that Victarion is not going to claim the Syrian, right? We are all on the
Okay,
same page
Victarion
about
Yeah,
it.
we can agree on
anybody?
that.
Okay.
Victarion is not claiming anybody. Victarion is meant to fail in the most disastrous way possible, which is why Dario
Victarion
Duran sent him there in the first place.
Victarion is dead. I don't like he is a
Something happened
firewhite
in that
now.
cabin, man.
He is a firewhite now. He's
Like,
not
oh,
alive.
I just read that chapter actually. I love it because I love Makoro. I want more so badly.
Yeah, what is that? What you think is going on with that perspective change in that chapter?
I think so. Like rereading it this last time, it was like it was so striking to me the POV change and the fact that we don't get in Victarion's head again.
Well,
Um,
what's so interesting too is that the only two times this happens, we have it happen with Dany in the tent with Mary, and then we have it happen again with Victarion in that cabin, and those are the only two times that happens. And we know that that's kind of a symbol of the beginning of a rebirth. Except for in Dany's case, she went on to do something like with the funeral pyre, and then that was her rebirth. Like, what the hell happened to Victarion?
I think he's dead,
Oh yeah,
or back alive, whatever.
reanimated
Um,
into something else.
So what we're
yeah.
saying is that we're going to have the first Firewhite claiming a dragon. That's what we're saying.
Don't you start with me. You can't
Well,
see me, but I'm
aside from
No.
No,
Maegor,
Rhaegal.
No.
And they're going to think it's because of the horn, but it's not. It's just because Rhaegal smelled all that juicy pork.
I also just read that part.
Snack.
I was like, oh, there's that pork that Eric's always talking about.
Yeah, it's
So
a
the
little
dragon's just
detail. Who
starving.
knows if it's actually anything? But I just love the idea of like one of the dragons getting handed off. They think it's because of a magical horn, but it's really because he's chowing down on some pigs.
just hungry.
No, and it's like that's
It's very Rhaegal.
tying into like the shit that happened with nettles. It's like
Yeah,
the
I was
way
just
to
gonna
a
say
dragon
sheep
is through their
stealing.
stomach. Clearly,
Dragon binding is literally just like who's feeding me.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a cat in that way.
exactly.
I mean, I feel like dragons are not sky puppies. They are sky cats. People get this
Yes.
wrong.
Very much so.
absolutely, 100%.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know why
Never
anyone
before.
would look at any of the behavior of the dragons as dog-like.
No.
except for maybe
not
how the
even a
show
little bit.
portrayed Sunfire. They made him very like golden retriever puppy like.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, a gold dragon? I know
Golden
another gold
retriever."
animal." Just a direct line.
It made it sadder though, because they made him kind of like a little dragon simp for his rider, and then his rider's like, "Let's get fucked."
Yeah.
Sunfire's
I
just
loved all the
Do you know
jokes
the,
about.
do you know the way to Rick's rest? Because I am hammered.
I love all the jokes about Sunfire learning English or the common tongue.
Yeah.
How to his commands in English instead.
Yeah.
Poor Sunfire.
Can I ask a couple on the just to close the Dunk and Egg stuff? Can I ask a question about reading it this time? So like am I have a podcast. We're rereading doing a
Oh
close
yeah.
reading of the Hedge Knight right now. So we're gonna go through the three novellas. And the one thing that is like really sticking out to me reading it this time is two things that I think are not controversial. And I think the Maynard Plum stuff like falls in this. But there are arguments about Dunk and Egg that I don't think are necessary. Like I don't really know why there's debate around it. Dunk's knighting,
Okay.
was he or was he not?
Was he
Because
properly knighted or not?
yeah,
No.
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't for sure. But I think it's what's funny is that people are like, and like maybe he wasn't knighted. I'm like, I think it's quite clear that he definitely wasn't. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
Yes.
I
because
think
his
that's kind of the
immediate thought.
point. It's like Brienne. The most knight-like knights are not
Exactly.
knights.
And I
Exactly.
think so much of Brienne's story ties back into Dunk's. I mean, especially
100%.
Jamie looks at
Yeah.
her and says she's as thick as the castle wall, and I was like,
Yeah.
I know that.
I
I
wonder
know
why.
that.
It's crazy.
It's meant to
It-
be a tie-in to Brienne's story. Is that the irony that
Mhm.
Brienne is not a knight, but she is the most knightly knight,
Yeah.
just like her ancestor before her.
And
Yeah.
a lot of the messaging is the same too. Like
Mhm.
in the themes for Dunk. It's basically like George sat down, he was like, I had so much fun writing Brienne chapters. What if Brienne was a boy? Huh? What
Yeah.
if Brienne was a boy and Podrick was a prince?
This doesn't actually translate because of a certain detail. But you can also think about this. Dunk was not knighted, right? Presumably he knights Aegon at some point.
Yeah.
Aegon knights Barristan. Isn't that correct?
So
Yeah.
Varys is not really a knight.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, I think the king can just make a knight, so that doesn't
Yeah.
Sure.
translate. So, but
there is-
so thinking
There's
about
something there.
like the I guess tradition of knighthood passing knight to knight is
Yeah.
actually not even true about these particular individuals, like Barristan, who has been a kind of a cool dude, but has clearly made mistakes and is trying to do better.
Yeah. No, I just think it's really funny because I think there's like a debate about whether Dunk is a knight or not. I'm like, it's not really up for debate. Like his first thought the day or after he buries his mentor is I have to get a job. And it's not, oh, okay, time to carry out my nightly duties or whatever. Like, he is literally like, should I like go be in the city watch somewhere? And he eventually just decides like I'm gonna go be a knight, and that's like I'm just gonna tell this story. And he sort of makes up his story with Manfred Dondarrion, like as he's explaining why he's a knight. And it's like clear that he's lying and he's not a practiced liar, so he is saying he's including way too much detail that nobody gives a shit about. And it's just very funny, like how reading it back, it was like there's no question, and it is like thematically, obviously very important to say that all of these knights who were knighted and anointed with the seven holy oils and like all of this bullshit uh, stood by and watched the prince assault a puppeteer woman,
Break
right?
her hand. Like, Jesus.
And some of them like actively participating in like tearing down the stall and burning the puppets and all this sort of stuff, while it was the one person who wasn't a knight there that actually did the knightly chivalrous thing of defending this woman. Yeah, and
Something else that I really
And he's
enjoyed about
condemned
the
for it.
Night
yeah,
is like the reunions between Egg and Dunk. Like the first time when he comes up on Egg, when Egg thinks that he's possibly dead. Well, Egg doesn't think that he could possibly be dead, but he's wounded, right? He just took the hit to the dome, and he walks up and he sees him, and he says something about his eyes being so far away and how he wouldn't leave his cold corpse. And I was like, no, he wouldn't. And then when he gets him, loses him and then gets him back at the end, he's like, thinking how he just wanted to run and hug him. And I'm like, oh, my boys.
Yeah, like I think that's what makes these stories so endearing too, because as it progresses, you see how brotherly these two have become. And it's like, it's this connection that's obviously never happened for Dunk, but nobody ever talks about how it hasn't happened for Egg either.
And it should
Because
have, because he had brothers, damn it. But he
who
got
does he
fucking.
have? He's got Daron and freaking Arion, and that's not those aren't brothers. They suck. So
One thing that
He
surprised me
he
to
has
read.
Aemon,
That's true.
who is
yeah,
his
but he hasn't
who is
like
the only person.
Aemon has kind of gone off and done his own
Yeah,
thing, and it's like, and for Aemon, like it feels like a distant thing for him because Aemon's gone, and I guess when I say that, like Aemon is very like closer. It seems like with Egg, whereas
yeah,
Dunk is definitely more like the older brother figure.
for sure.
And I
No, and
think
that's what
too.
it's like. Aemon, the way that Egg talks about Aemon, he says like he's the one who started calling me Egg and like all that sort of stuff. So it like just belies that they had the only brotherly relationship that Egg had growing up was Aemon, and he's now gone.
And he's now
Like
gone.
he,
Exactly. That's what.
yeah.
That's yeah. Like
Sorry, yeah,
no, totally. Don't be sorry. I was just thinking, because Aemon was older, what Egg means to him as a brother is different than what he means to Egg as a brother, because Egg was young when Aemon was round, and so when we get older Aemon reflecting on like his baby brother Egg, like it's a different kind of nostalgia than if they had been like brothers, like growing up together, the kind of the way that Dunk and Egg are. Because
Right.
Dunk's young too. Like they are growing up together in a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of ways.
yeah. Um, Speaking of the reunion stuff, like even just the simple stuff where when Dunk is in the Fossilways tent and right after he got out of jail and Egg shows up with Daron and he sees Egg walk in and he's like, Egg, like, what are you doing here?
And he's like, I'm
And
your
he's like, I'm your
squire.
squire. And it's just like,
Like,
oh my God. Like,
Yeah, you
like
are.
that didn't change, bro. Or like when like Dunk wakes up and this was in the Sworn Sword, and then he's told by the Maester that Egg literally pulls him out of the water. And it's like he was like, I didn't think he had that much strength for such a young boy. Like he literally pulled you out of the water, and I'm like,
That adrenaline of like, that's my Dunk. My Dunk's in
get
the
him
water.
out of there. Like it's just, and how he's like, get him, sir. He's right there. Like he says that multiple times.
Oh my gosh. And also to go back to like the emotion of the Hedge Knight, like I got really, really emotional as you start putting together how abusive Arian was to Egg.
it's crazy.
Like that whole scene where like Dunk doesn't get it yet, and so like Egg's legs tighten around his neck, and like he just gets really nervous and really uptight. And like that's what I was gonna say earlier was it kind of shocks me. I had tons of spoilers from just being in the fandom before I'd read this. I had never heard anyone talk about that he like borderline sexually assaults Egg.
Yeah.
Like he holds a knife to this child's groin and is like, I should make you my sister. I'll have one less problem. Like, that's horrifying. That is so abusive. And like,
Yeah.
I just never heard anyone mention it before. And I was like, damn, that's like a big one to just slip under the radar.
One of the big strengths of these books, and I think like why George is so good at writing these particular stories, is in a very short amount of time and a very short amount, or, a very small amount of words, the characterizations that he gives people are extremely strong and you just know sort of exactly who they are
Hmm.
immediately. And Arion is one character that is like the characterization is so immediate because the first thing we see him do is mistreat Dunk, but we don't know that it's him yet. Um, the first thing we see him do after he's identified as Arion is kill a horse
Yeah.
In a
for
Rape.
horrible way. Like Dunk describes it as like a human scream. Like
yeah.
it's,
And
I
it's
hate that
just
part.
so like it's so easy or it's so such an obvious connection of just like in our real world and like in fiction using violence against animals as like the easiest connection of like this person is a psychopath,
Yeah.
right? Like this
Yeah.
person has like homicidal tendencies.
For real. Little
And so
sociopath.
yeah, it is just a very like I think one of the strengths of this is just how quickly George is able to characterize these characters in a strong way and just make them like just make it very clear like this is who this person is with a very small amount of time on page
Well,
compared to obviously the main series.
While
like
it's not exact,
Baylor being in it for 5 seconds. Baylor's in this story for 5 seconds, and you still bawl your eyes out when he dies. You're
Yeah.
like, I was wrecked. I
Yeah.
was like, no, and it's like that quick that you're attached to him.
Yeah, and to correct myself
I
earlier,
I was
basically,
the sorry. What's up?
I just wanted to call out that it was just outright sexual abuse. I said it was
Yeah.
borderline sexual abuse. Someone in the comments is like, it's not borderline. You're right. It's just manner of speaking. I I condemn it if that like if that's a question.
Yeah.
I condemn it. I disavow. I disavow. I disavow.
Yeah, Aaron gives to Egg like the same vibes as Joffrey to Tommen. I agree because earlier I immediately thought of Viserys and Dany, obviously, but I do think like, especially with the cruelty to animals and stuff, I think that's a more like direct.
Yeah, Egg says he threw his cat down a well.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
like, he says he didn't do it, but I know he did.
Because you know what? And cancel me for truth if you must, but I think that there is a universe in which Viserys is not a complete monster. A little asshole prince? Yes, always.
Yeah.
A cruel, mean monster who sells his sister to a warlord? Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, she does, like, Dany has fond memories of Viserys from when they were little. So he can't have always been that bad.
Well, and everyone hates on him for being so goddamn delusional about his dad, but that was Rayella's intentional doing. She shielded him from as much of that as she could so that
Yeah.
he could live with those rosy tinted glasses, which is what many, many, many women who are victims of domestic violence do for their children. And then they go on into the world thinking like this parent's a fine parent, not knowing the truth. And, so I can't fault him. It's like getting mad at characters for not knowing the shit is like one of my biggest pet peeves about the way that people read in general. Like you can only fault a character insofar as much information as they had. You know what I'm saying? Also, he was a child for most of it.
I think Viserys is definitely one of those cases where he's the monster that the world made him to be.
Made him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's definitely the victim of a lot of terrible things. That's not excusing his behavior because what he puts Dany through is despicable. But it definitely gives you more of an outlook on his character. He's not Aerion. Like Aerion's cruel for the sport. Like he just enjoys being cruel.
Oh man, Base of Spades, you really should have been here earlier because I saw you ask about, I can't wait to talk about John the Fiddler and Fagon, which we did. And now you're seeing the Stannis and Maegor similarities, which was one of the first things we talked about.
I know. I was like it was like three chats in a row that Basis of Spades was like literally said something verbatim that we talked about, and I feel really bad.
Hey, they were good topics. That's why we covered them right at the top.
Well, and this will be a podcast episode, so.
Exactly. The full thing will be posted on
Yeah,
YouTube and
we
Spotify.
we really went through a lot of really good subjects in this one. Like this is probably one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, Phil, it's been really fun to have you with us. It's been great.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, it's always fun to chat about it. It just feels like, catching up. It doesn't even feel like a
Yeah.
serious discussion. It just feels like we're chatting. So,
Like we're on
It's better to chat
FaceTime
about
with
this
comments.
This thing.
Than
Look at him.
politics.
Look at
I
him.
honestly don't know how you keep up with the stuff to make all these videos that you're making.
oh,
Like on the daily, they're like relevant to the day. Like
it's
Yeah, honestly, politics has me so beaten down right now that I'm just like consumed by it. And it's hard to
I
really
get
think
all
about
my
anything
news from
else
Phil.
because things are really freaking horrible. Like I don't think they definitely this is the most horrible we've ever had it. Like every new day is a new set of horrors. And I feel like we are literally living in Westeros right now. Like we are in the freaking trenches, man. And like we are in Aerys the Second's Westeros right now. It's bad.
it's
But
it is bad. And there is a level of you know am I joking about this too much because like shit really sucks? And
Dark humor is also helpful. So
yeah, I the one thing that I definitely like can't joke about, and I feel like I just need to make a more serious video about is obviously like the, you know, elimination of like due process when it comes to
Just
immigration
no big
law.
deal. Just due process.
So
like
that's the
that's what
one
really
that
scares
I
me is
can't joke about that.
like you can just have or like the administration admitting that they arrested an innocent man, but oh, he's already gone, so we can't do anything about that. He's just gone. We know he's innocent. We know he didn't do anything wrong, but like
Fucking
he's
frightening.
gone now, so
Yep,
sorry.
it's crazy. That's
It's like,
like
oh, so he's in prison, like probably scared to death, and he's just gone. And oh well, because you made a mistake. But oh, he's not in the U.S. anymore. Sorry.
and he had legal protections from being deported to El Salvador because he specifically was running from gang violence in El Salvador. Like,
Oh my God,
and they
it's
deported him to a prison in El Salvador. Like,
I
what the
just,
fuck?
that's the
I just
Just
conversation that
like,
I'm so fucking tired of having is like the the in terms of the like illegal immigration conversation of like pin like saying that they're all these criminals when that is what they're fleeing from. This like oh, and it's just they talk themselves in fucking circles. There's like no, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm triggered.
Well,
no, I
Recently
know.
had one of these
the new
conversations.
thing is like, well, you know what? Only innocent people should get due process. And it's like, buddy, how do you think what do you think that is? What do you think due process is?
Can you
And
explain to
also,
me due process?
can we get to the root of this violence that these people are fleeing from? Where did it come from? Why does it exist there? What role did we play in that?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
but then they look at you with that like glazed fucking dumb look and God.
Or
Yeah.
like, I love
Whoopsie
how
daisy CIA coup.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Mango Mussolini said that the tariffs that he was the 25% tariffs that he was putting on foreign car companies, he's like, oh yeah, this will encourage people to buy American cars. It's like, okay, you're an idiot. Do you not think that if Toyota and Honda and Lexus and all these other brands, do you not think that if they're increasing their prices, that Chevy and Ford and Dodge are not going to look at that and be like, well, you know what? Maybe we can jack up our prices a little bit just to kind of stay on par. Like, do you not think that's going to happen?
it's that these people don't understand how like economics fucking work. Like
They're not gonna
He's
sell
like,
this
people are going to
cybertruck
buy
anyway.
American vehicles. It's like these American companies are going to increase their prices too to keep
they're
things on
these
an
huge
even
fucking proponents of
scale.
capitalism and don't even get the basic like premise of how it fucking functions. Like
Because he's never had to worry about it because he's a billionaire. He's never had to really worry about it.
No, I like I like crony capitalism, not actual
not
capitalism.
actual capitalism. God,
I prefer cartels
it's just my own personal
as an
preference.
economic system. Yeah, it's bleak. Um, and I yeah,
Haley,
it
Oh,
it would be
in the comments, Juan, I would rather have Cersei at this point. Just give me Cersei, man. Like, I'll
it
take it.
it like what really sucks is that it's you know, we could be just enjoying like the like broad incompetence that exists if it weren't so also evil, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
where it's really funny, like that the Secretary of Defense is,
a drunk.
um, yeah, he is. I was once upon a time in the army in a past life, um,
Oh,
and he is one of a zillion people that I knew. Like, not one of them did I think, hey, I think they should be in charge of all of this.
not one
Um,
time.
And that's really like that in on its face is funny, but the agenda and like what they're actually trying to make happen and what they're like effectively implementing is just insane because it's a bunch of incompetent people who are being allowed to
Well,
break the law
dude,
and
the
do.
one the one person who's biologically programmed to love him, his mother, wrote a letter saying, don't hire him. Like, your mom, the one person in this world who's obligated to love you, said, don't hire my son. He's a drunk. Like, do not do this. He's unqualified for this job.
It's
That's
It
so
is.
yeah.
It is
bad.
crazy. It
That's
is
so
crazy how he
bad.
gets to be 8 gin and tonics deep to just talk to a camera.
We could do that too. I'm just
I
kidding.
can't do that. I can't
I'm
stand
too
up
old.
straight.
I
He
can't.
needs that just so his hands don't shake. I'm sorry.
Um,
Just I'm
no,
not,
it's
no hate to anybody that's struggling out there, but like some people don't want to get better. Um,
yeah.
uh,
We
oh my god.
we actually had a discussion on the latest or an episode that will be released of A Pod of the Seven Kingdoms about Daron, because Daron is a quite complicated character because he does struggle with substance abuse, right? He's an alcoholic and he's a fucking dickhead also. And it's like, how
Also,
do you reconcile like the fact that this really, really rich guy who could have whatever he needs, like, and chooses instead, like, sort of, has like this penchant for leaning into substance abuse, which, like, is absolutely an affliction and is not something that you necessarily blame that person for. And at the same time, it's like the circumstances are so different from someone who might be struggling in that same way, like, who is poor,
who's just an
right?
everyday person.
And isn't a prince and isn't a like and doesn't have whatever and so yeah, anyways, it's like we didn't talk about Pete Hexa specifically, but it is an interesting sort of parallel where you're like, do you feel bad for the noble slash like powerful person who struggles with stuff that you can forgive like normal people for struggling with? um it's a very interesting
Are
topic
you
and one that I
asking me
don't
if I
necessarily
have
know the
less
answers.
empathy for rich people? Because the answer is yes.
Oh,
Yes.
100%. I'm just saying on the
Honestly,
specifically
Daron,
related to
Daron really
addiction.
just
But
gets
yes.
Daron gets on my nerves. Like, he really just does. He's
Oh,
annoying.
every single time that he speaks, I want to throttle him.
Like,
Like,
you useless son of a bitch.
he's
Yeah,
so
like
like, especially when
like
he's
what
like, I'm sorry, like,
yeah.
don't kill me. I'll fall down.
Well, just
And I'm
lay
like,
down in the dirt. Yeah, you
I
will, and I'm
think
gonna kick you, you
I
little
think what
fuck.
pisses me I think what pisses me off about Darren Moore is that I wish he was more pathetic in the way that he like because he's pathetic, but he doesn't sort of present himself as pathetic. If he was very like apologetic and all this stuff, it'd be one thing. But he's like, yeah, I know I'm a piece of shit or whatever. But he's sort of arrogant about it, where he's like, well, yeah, I had to lie to my dad because otherwise I'd have been in trouble. So like,
Like,
yeah,
duh.
I told him that you kidnapped Egg because you're poor. Like, I'm a
Because
prince.
you're
or
poor,
like
ew.
Like,
at any point in time, I feel like he could have said something before that trial by seven happened. I know how far fetched it would have sounded, but I mean, damn, I at least would have popped up and said, "Hey, I had a weird dream about this, and there was a dead dragon on top of that guy." So,
yeah.
like, maybe we should just say Arion messed up and just not do this.
They're
Well, and
just they're
that's
just,
the
if he says that, they're just gonna be like, "How much have you had to drink today?"
I mean, yeah, honestly, they probably will because he's completely eliminated himself as a reliable source. But at the same time, to not say anything is
yeah.
worse.
No, exactly. It reflects personally on him because it wouldn't.
Yeah,
While it wouldn't have worked, he should have done it.
he should have
The
said something.
the cowardice of Darren is that he accuses Dunk and then goes and visits him at night and says, "Can you go please solve my Arion problem for me?" And oh, by the way, don't kill me in this trial by combat. Like, I'll take the fall. And there is something like so ridiculous about a prince whose brother is a monster, as he says. Like Daron described Arion as a monster and says, hey, if a dragon's gonna die tomorrow, just make sure it's Arion. So he's saying, like, go handle my shit when he's a prince and he's asking literally the poorest knight who's been accused now of assault, or like is being held liable for attacking a prince or whatever. Um, and he's saying, like, go deal with my problems for me. Which is just a crazy, like, I think that's what's so insane about Daron is that he is reminiscent of many like real life entitled people who rely on people below them to deal with their stuff, like,
Yeah.
and don't actually handle their problems themselves.
I wonder how
And
different he
it's
would be
infuriating.
without being a dreamer. Like, I wonder if he'd been driven to drink in the way. I mean,
I don't know.
I
Like
feel like
for
a certain level of that sort of pathetic cowardice is sort of innate and probably would have blossomed regardless. But I do think, like Felicity said in the comments, his dreams are a plague for him. And
Hmm.
I will say this with my dying breath that the dreams drive men crazy because they're not
I
meant for men.
except John the Fiddler. Like I don't think it drove him crazy.
Didn't
Like
drive him
yes,
crazy, but it led him astray. He wasn't
it did.
interpreting them correctly. Whereas
Gave him
I think Raina
delusions.
was probably a dreamer and was interpreting her dreams correctly, hence the cradle egg, the insistence on the cradle egg and naming her dragon Dreamfire. And, I like the show's assertion that Helena is a dreamer and apparently one that can, come to understand her dreams quite well. And Danny does it extremely well, better than anybody.
I
Yeah,
like how
cross face
the
Helena.
Ghost of High Heart, like with the Ghost of High Heart, I love that with her dreams and her visions, she literally tells them, she's like, well, this is what I saw, but like I can't tell you for sure. And like you're gonna have to figure it out because I can't be certain. Like
Well, I
I
mean, just
like the
Demon.
dreamers, like at least women, if they don't know exactly what they're looking at, they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Except for Melisandre.
Yeah, Mel is always fumbling that ball, man, like so hard. Poor Mel.
What I don't remember what the quote is, but it's just funny that she's like reporting like I see dark towers being swallowed by a dark tide or
That's
whatever.
not what it looked like,
And then
but
yeah, and then
yeah.
being like that sounds like Eastwatch, and it's like I don't think so, but let's go with that.
Yes. I know that's one of my fucking favorite Mel. And then when she straight up tells John, she's like, the fault is with the reader, not the book. Like, if I get something wrong, it's my fault. Yeah, and I'm like, it is your fucking fault.
Exactly.
It is your fault. You're right.
I do.
Ah!
I do
Um,
like
Juan,
one of
Juan just
my
asked a really good question, Chelsea, and I think that's your category. Jane Westerling being Maggie's granddaughter.
Oh, I mean, that's not. Shut up. That can't possibly be a coincidence. I, I feel like there's a role for Jane in the prophecy because come on, like she gives a prophecy and then it's her granddaughter who's involved in it for Cersei.
I like the idea of her being the younger, more beautiful queen. Like,
I like that it's every woman Cersei meets.
yeah, like
Because
it's
it
yeah,
is.
it's
Here's the thing
paranoia
about
is
prophecy,
real.
right? It doesn't even matter now who the prophecy is actually referring to because Cersei sees it in every single person. It doesn't matter who the Valonqar is because Cersei only sees it in Tyrion. So like
Mhm.
we're beyond the point of it even fucking mattering. And
Yeah.
I want to go back to Damon too, being a dreamer, like just the way his dream comes to fruition and just how it's actually pretty stupid. It's just it's egg, right? The egg that hatches the dragon is egg.
Oh, but
Egg is the egg.
did you catch the end where Dunk was like, yeah, and you also dreamt of dragons hatching from stone eggs. One is just as likely as t'other. Like, did you catch that?
Yeah.
Like dragons hatching from stone eggs. So clearly, like Damon's not far off. It's just he's about a century too soon.
Well, and I think I mean the only eggs they had at this point were stone. So like of course if you're gonna hatch a dragon at this point.
Here's a question.
That's
Do y'all
what, like, he does have that dream of dragons hatching from stone eggs, and it's like, well, yeah, that is going to happen. Just
But then you
give
saw people out here
give it about
pretending like
100
there's
years.
no
but
connection
you
between Azor Ahai waking dragons from stone and Lightbringer being a dragon. Nope, no connection at all. Nope.
so
Fuck does Azor Ahai have to do with
question.
dragons
I was gonna
then?
ask, what do y'all think of Bloodraven's interpretation of
Uh,
the dream?
That it was egg?
That it's egg.
I don't. I think he was wrong. I mean, maybe, but like when you add that in with what Duck said about yeah, and you also dreamt of dragons hatching from stone eggs. I honestly think that Daemon was seeing Daenerys, and I don't think that that's the last time we're going to see Daemon the second because he's alive. He's in King's Landing now. I think that that's at some point in time, he and Egg are going to have a conversation, and he's going to be like, "Yeah, I saw a bald like person, and they had dragons, and like I
But
thought
he
that he was going to
specifically
be,
says that the dragon hatches at that place,
yeah."
White Hall or whatever it's called.
White
I
Walls.
think it's
White
going
Walls.
to be
White Walls,
because
halls, Jesus Christ.
You're good.
Well, the White House, White
White
Castle.
as far as
House.
we know,
With the
like
the whole bit about they brought the stone in from the Erie, it's all very rich and wealthy. I was like, damn, all right, we get it.
as far as we know that Egg like dreams of riding a dragon someday, but he doesn't have like prophetic dreams as far as we know. I don't think he does. So I think the one that he's going to consult is Daemon. And Daemon has been wrong before, and I think he's going to be wrong again because he's going to think that it was Egg because Egg was bald, and really it's Daenerys that he's dreamt of.
Yeah, I think absolutely. But I actually tend to agree with Bloodraven's interpretation of that specific vision.
Because I think
It's just it's very
Egg
on.
is what I because I agree because I think Egg is like going to have dreams later maybe or
Maybe.
like I do like this idea of like explaining what Damon 2 was doing at a certain point but like having these dreams and Egg thinking it's revolved around him and specifically at this time like that Egg may come back because now it's in the possession of the Targaryens. So that might be one of the eggs that's in Summer Hall.
Okay, hang on. There's a bunch of comments here.
Hello, Carly.
Yeah, Felicity, he said that they all dreamt of dragons, but I wasn't sure if that meant like that they were all dragon dreamers or if they all just dreamt of that like being something that happened for them one day and they were kind of just obsessed with it. Hey, Carly.
I feel
What do y'all
there's
think of
a.
the? Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like there's an interesting distinction there too, because like, who's to say, like, if a Targaryen dreams and remembers it and thinks it's significant, like,
Is that a dragon dream?
without the dragons, like, who's to say whether it's a dragon dream or not? Like, it could just
Mhm.
be a vivid dream that you had, and like, it might not be magic. Like in certain people's cases where they are
Like
convincing
Viserys?
themselves that right, like they're convincing themselves that they had a dragon dream and it's not.
That has
Um,
always been my opinion about Show Viserys, is that he was not a dreamer. He
right,
wanted a son so badly that he had a fucking dream about having a fucking son.
right. Like if you're about to have a son who's gonna be your heir, and I had
Yeah.
a dream that he was born with a crown or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's probably pretty, like, that's pretty on the nose,
I also like,
for
though, the
like what you'd be
interpretation.
thinking about.
I like the interpretation that what he is actually seeing, though, is the war to come because Aegon was crowned. So the dragons
So,
are not roaring in unison. They're roaring in the sounds of war, and the clashing of lances and all that shit is actually the sounds of, like, war.
right.
The dance of
But my
dragons.
my my thought is only specifically like to these dreamers that come in the period between the last dragon and Daenerys's dragon, where it's like, what's what's driving the dream? Like if they're dragon dreamers, like what is actually, is it just like Targaryen blood that's giving them the dreams, or is it just like they aren't having dragon dreams and they're just dreaming? Um, like who's giving them the vision? Like how are they getting visions if there aren't any dragons?
Glass candles.
That's my only question mark. Because then I'm thinking like, is Bloodraven telling them the like the interpretation of the dream because he's the one who's giving them, like he's projecting whatever in the future, like he's using greed sight or something like that to like tap into and
Yeah.
give these dreamers their vision. Who knows? Like I just, the lack of dragons is the one thing that makes me think like, what are these people doing?
When it comes to Bloodraven too, this is kind of a side thought. I I feel like his magic is much more rooted in his northern roots
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
than in Targaryen magic, which I think speaks to, because when we start talking about how kind of magical he is, for me, it's like it's not because he's a Targaryen man, because Targaryen men or Blackfire men or Dragonseed men are not. They're not the magic. It's the women. It's the
Right.
women. And
I
so
think
then that
his
also makes
power-
sense because it
power
would have been
definitely
his
comes from the
mother.
old gods.
It's his mother that gave him the magic on that side.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And also being Shiera's paramour. That probably helps. Because I think she's magical.
It's like
Okay.
a chicken and egg thing. You don't know which follows which.
Yeah.
Because is she really gonna go for a guy that's not already, spitting out spells?
Let's see.
Try to revive the
Carly,
dragon.
I will not judge you for that because the Duncan Egg novellas were actually the last thing that I read because I was kind of saving them. But once I read them, like I was so obsessed that I read them within about a day and a half. I just literally couldn't put them down. I absorbed them and I would read them because that's a set that you honestly will keep rereading because they're that good. And there's always new things to find in there, like in typical George fashion. So I would read them.
Yeah, the only canon dreamers that we have who successfully act on dreams are Dana's and Daenerys, but I was talking about Rhaena, who, again, it's headcanon, but I would argue there's plenty of textual evidence to support the headcanon.
Oh, yeah.
Also, like, Dreamfire was just like, I'm only going to bond with dreamers and girls. Like,
Where do you come up with putting the eggs in the cradles? Like,
why do you name your dragon Dreamfire?
Like, what is she just
she
could have been
named
just like a
Dreamfire
crunchy
for a
mom and was
reason.
just like, yeah, and then putting eggs in cradles because it's like, that was the Montessori school of
well, and that it started with her siblings too, not with her kids. It was Alysanne and Jaehaerys that she was like, put a goddamn egg in there, and look at how well bonded Vermithor and Silverwing were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To their brothers.
they were on to something.
Put a goddamn egg
Like,
in
yeah.
Yeah, she's like, what are you doing? Like, are you Valyrians or not?
it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And she's like, I dreamed it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, holy shit, it worked.
See, I mean, yeah, Shireen dreamed, and there are people who dream of dragons. That doesn't make it a dragon dream. Tyrion, that's one of the
Tyrion
big
dreams of dragons.
people are like, Tyrion's a Targaryen because he had a dream about dragons. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
No.
If you lived,
Bran has had dragons in his vision, like in the
Yeah.
in the first Coma chapter.
if you
Well,
if you lived in the kingdom that used to be ruled by the Magic Dragon family, like I feel like you would dream about dragons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
you kidding? I live in this world, and
Especially someone like Tyrion. Like Tyrion would definitely dream about dragons because having a dragon would make him feel less inferior. So obviously, like that for him is where that comes in.
It's all very
But
metaphorical.
he is his father's son. Like can't beat the allegations.
I mean, yes, Shireen does technically have dragon's blood, but I think people are missing the point of that foreshadowing is that she is going to die. Like that's kind of that's the point. Like it doesn't really have anything to do with dragons, except that that's what was the thing everyone was talking about because unknowingly they were like, oh yeah, the dragons were born. Everyone just all of a sudden is talking about dragons, and they're not like thinking, why is everyone thinking about and talking about dragons all of a sudden?
There's also a bunch of burning swords throughout the series. Like there's a ton of swords. It's a burning sword. It's a burning sword. Like you've got Brienne dreaming of burning swords, and it's like it's supposed to be that. I think George is trying to tell you there. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of swords. They're all on fire. But what's the one unique one? What's the one special one? Oh, it's the dragons being referred to as a burning sword. They're the only ones that are different because they're not literal blades.
My favorite Lightbringer is the red sword coming out of Biter's mouth.
Okay. Is Dawn Lightbringer? God, someone take me out back and fucking shoot me.
Whatever sword Genji has, right?
I'm not kidding. If Dawn brings the dong, I'm jumping off a fucking cliff.
No,
Going out like a Shara.
I think that's the point that George is trying to make. It's literally the point George is trying to make. Listen, there are so many magical swords, there are so many burning swords, but the ones that are actually special are the dragons that are literally referred to as burning swords across the sky. So
Yeah, Felicity, I also really hate the Night's Watch being Lightbringer because of the vows. That one really irks me.
black.
They're like, no,
Dark Star is
it
Azor
has to
Ahai.
be this fucking group of, stinky rapers and thieves over the girl.
I
Like,
don't know
what?
if because George writes a lot about how like you can't keep to oaths because if you keep to one oath, you're going to be besmirching another. Like, I don't think the solution to this is everybody doing their oaths correctly. Like, I think there's something bigger to the what am I trying to say? The conclusion to it all. Because goddamn.
Yeah.
What
if Lightbringer
knights
was
ain't very
friends we made
knightly.
along the way?
Sir Amory Lord,
No, that's
Sir
Azor
Gregor
Ahai.
Clegane, are those the knightly knights? Even though
I had somebody recently in one of my comment sections saying, "Oh no, it has to be Rhaegar because he's the only one who fulfills the prophecy." And I was like, "Well, Rhaegar's kind of dead, so like, what now?"
No, and you want to know what
Are
it
we
always
just
is?
getting
Because it
defeated
requires
by the others? Is that it? Like we're all going to be a part of the others because Rhaegar died?
because it
Rhaegar.
requires 3 forgings and he had 3 children and it's like, okay, cool. So the women are just the vessels for the forging. Rad. Love that. Nisa totally made a willing self-sacrifice so that people would think that was the moral of the fucking story.
And it's
I
like,
just need a woman standing near me to stab,
Yeah.
and I can fulfill the
With
prophecy.
my magical dick I mean, that's what they're saying when they say that it's fucking Rhaegar forging Lightbringer. They're talking about his dick. Like, grow up. We are not being rickrolled with a fucking penis joke. I can't even handle these people. They will do anything. The mental gymnastics to avoid it being a little girl is just like,
Yeah.
and it's like, if John is Lightbringer at that point, then where is Rhaegar? Because Rhaegar has to pick up John and beat the others to death with him. Like where is that going to happen? Because I mean, Azor Ahai has to wield Lightbringer, so why isn't he coming back from the dead to pick up John and beat the others to death?
Yep. Mance Rayder, who's obviously Rhaegar,
I
dies,
like
but
it.
wargs into a giant, grabs John, and hits the Great Other with it over the head,
I like it.
and that's the
That's
end
it.
of that's A Dream of Spring. So
Yes.
boom. Yeah, Haley, I do. I love the John and Danny's grenade baby. Saves the day. That's Lightbringer. Their baby.
That Jamie has to wield in order to restore his honor and his knighthood.
He's gonna toss him with his good hand, like a fucking football, right into the others, and he's gonna blow up, and John is gonna be like, Lightbringer!
Yeah.
And then George is gonna break the 4th wall and be like, see, I told you John was Azor Ahai the whole time. The end. Dream of
Wow.
Spring.
I guess we really did bring light after all. That's the last line of the book.
He
There you go.
truly was a light bringer.
And that's, oh God, I can't say what I would do on a live. We'll get turned off. I'll get flagged and put in a loony bin.
Account
No,
restricted.
honestly, if that's like, if any sort of rendition of that came, I would crash out. I'd be like, you know what?
I would crash out on live for like a week. I just, also, like, if Viserion dies, like, I'm dying. Like, Koi Koi, blood of my blood. I'm going out. I am Viserion's blood rider. If she dies.
Dude, if it was all a penis joke, crashing out.
Crashing out so hard. George R. R. Martin. Oh.
Like he would be on my list.
I swear to God.
That is crazy if like all of the discussion is like it was Rhaegar's dick the whole time.
It's because he plays the harp.
Yeah.
I just know it.
Yeah.
George went into a panic. He was like, man, maybe people won't like this. And now he's fixing it.
They really just want the dick. That's what he's thinking.
He was like,
John Connington is actually his
into it all.
self-insert character.
That's so
George
true. I bet he
George
is.
is like, crap, I have to fix this.
It's like you Eustace for Damon too.
Yeah.
We know how you feel, George. We get it.
He's so hot.
Listen, I understand. I
Listen.
understand because I am Eustace Osprey. Like
That's your
I've
next
already told you guys
cosplay.
that, but I am using a glamour. Under this, I am twitching my mustache over and
What you're
over again.
saying is it's time for you to bust out the bald filter and
Yeah,
give us a good
yeah.
little Eustace.
I need a toothbrush mustache. I need a really good one so I can twitch it because it's constantly. No, I'm sorry. It's quivering. It's quivering. The mustache is quivering.
Because that's
Juan,
more
that's not a
that's
question.
He looks over at Dunk. It quivers. He's talking about the little lion. It's quivering. He's going to meet Lady Rohan. It's quivering. Like
quivering.
that
He's
mustache
nervous.
stays
He's a nervous
quivering.
guy.
One thing I can't unsee now is in the illustrated version of the novellas, not the graphic novel, the novellas. Um, Osgray looks like Swedish Chef.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
he kind of does.
He totally does.
He looks to look like just draw the hat on top. On top, there's one drawing of him in there, and yes, just
Yeah,
draw
he
the little
does.
hat on him, and yeah, that's Swedish Chef.
Yep, there he is.
I love this idea. I love this idea of him and Rohan laying in bed together every night, and Rohan's over there thinking about Dunk. And then, like, Eustace, like, there's a lone, like, tear going down his cheek because he's still thinking about Damon's flat chest. Like, not thinking about his wife. He's just like, man, my sweet king. I should have died with my sweet king.
Well,
And I was like,
he just waxed poetic about it for like 2 pages. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, brother.
he's
I think
like,
I'm in love
I
now.
should have died with my
Never even met the
He
guy.
was down bad.
He literally says, I should have died with my sons and my sweet king. And I'm
My
like,
sweet king.
babe, tell us how you really feel about Damon.
Yeah,
That's
he
so
was he was definitely channeling John Connington in like in his
Oh
Eustace Osprey
God.
pages.
So
The
hard.
point being that there's something very alluring and ethereal about those goddamn Valerian men.
I'm telling you. He was a god amongst mortal men. And I was like, okay, Eustace, like, come on. Like, give me more.
He's got scrolls and scrolls of fanfic.
I just know.
He does.
You
Check
just
that man's
know
AO3.
he does. You just know he does. Eustace is like looking, like typing in the tags. Ooh, I hate him.
I guess we are all the stallions who mount the world.
Yeah.
And no.
I do, man. This is actually pretty funny. Like just a genre of joke of like what would the last line of A Song of Ice and Fire be as like the camera like pans out and George sort of makes his last typewriter stroke and just is like my magnum opus finished and it says something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
I just really love that idea.
I am sensing a new series coming on.
Do you
Yeah.
think there are any Blackfire female dragon dream? Oh yeah, absolutely for sure. Like no doubt about it. Like I'm positive that most of the female Blackfires were probably dragon dreamers.
I do think it's really interesting that like this generation seems to be particularly like potent in terms
Mhm.
of like magic. And I wonder if it's like an echo of the dragons, you know what I mean? Because like they're dead, right? And so it's
Mhm.
like sort of like this, I don't know, like because it goes back to what Phil was talking about earlier, like what do the dreams stem from?
Right.
Right? Are they is it this blood of the dragon thing? Which I mean, and I don't mean this from like a blood purity like standpoint. For me, it comes from the idea of like the great empire of the dawn, the original God King on earth being a literal dragon, right?
Sure.
And then these lines coming off. And so blood of the dragon then would be like a very like literal thing. And in which case I could see the magic being truly of the blood versus of the dragons. But I mean, it's hard to say because I mean, there's so clearly like a relationship between the dragons dying out and the balance being thrown off and the others rising, basically.
So in the
Yeah.
comment section about young Griff becoming the Night's King, that really is like young Griff is of fire magic, especially if he's a black fire, like he's the black dragon, like that is plays into the fire aspect of it all. The Night's King, I mean, I think that more people really need to listen to Old Nan because Old Nan never tells a lie. And she's like, oh, they thought it was an Umber. They thought it was a Bolton. They thought it was like, she lists like 5 names off. And she's like, it never was. It was a Stark. He was a Stark, the brother of the man who brought him down. So it's like, it's very important that the Night's King 2.0 has to be a Stark. Well, who is the most Stark of Starks right now? And who's always been the most Stark of Starks. And that's kind of the reason why Catelyn was so, like, off-put by Jon, because he's literally the most Stark out there. So it has to be Jon.
I think this is sorry, Ashley.
It's just the most poetic, like, sense of, it only makes sense for it to be Jon.
Yeah, I'm on board with this. The magic of the Danes, I think that does have a lot to do with this generation being so seemingly prophetic, is because you had the introduction of the Dane bloodline into theirs, which I think speaks to Daenerys being as magical as she is too. I think Jon and Dany in a lot of ways are like this amalgamation of magical bloodlines coming together just in the nick of time, kind of a thing.
A song of ice and fire.
Aye.
And it truly was a song
Yeah, my guess is
of
because
ice
their
and
mother.
fire.
That's the end. That's it. And so it was a song. Yeah, their mother is from House Dane. I think that's totally it. I really agree with that a lot.
Yeah.
What kind of magic do you think Qyburn?
See it from like the Danes being like they didn't go the way of the Valyrians. But they did come from the same place. They just traveled further, and it
didn't have dragons, presumably.
Didn't have dragons, yeah.
I think. Well, and I'm sorry, no one is convincing me that Dawn was not Forge of the fucking meteor that the Bloodstone Emperor was worshiping. That cannot be a coincidence. I refuse to believe it.
And the fact that
how it talks about Dawn drinking light, like that's not a good thing. Like people are like, oh, it's described so pretty. When people describe Dawn, I'm like, that sounds ominous.
Well,
and I mean, I'm sorry,
ominous.
but
pale as milk glass, right?
Yes, which is exactly how the others are described.
Yeah.
Darkstar and the Bloodstone Emperor look awfully a lot alike.
No, Darkstar is innocent.
He was framed.
I am the head of the Darkstar Innocence Project. We need
I love this question.
Nothing wrong.
I love this question. What kind of magic do you think Qyburn uses for his necromancy? I don't think. I mean, okay, this begs the question of: are magic and science the same thing, right? Is magic just science that hasn't been explained yet? But I would make the argument that what Qyburn is using, the magic that he is using, is science. Like, I don't think he's using necromancy like only death can pay for life blood magic. Like, no, he is like flushing his blood out to bring in someone else's blood. Like, he's using like what we now have as modern science, but back in this time period would have seemed like fucking magic.
I think of Qyburn as Dr. Frankenstein. Like,
well, yeah, okay, so
that's definitely what's happening
here. Any of you have seen it, but have you ever seen a show called Salem? It's about witches. It's British. It's on like WGN or something like that. Mm-mm. Okay, anyway, it's a great fucking show, and it's about Salem witches, and the like head witch, she ends up falling in love with this fucking scientist, and it's because like he realizes, he's like, you're willing to stare into the abyss the same way that I'm willing to stare into the abyss. What the fuck can we do together? And then, they bang and they do some cool magic.
Sounds
You
sick.
can't trust scientists. This is how we know climate change is not
You,
real.
you can't trust scientists.
Not
I that's
real.
a
It's a liberal myth. It's a liberal myth.
Bunch of
that's a
liberal bullshit.
Kyburn's Kyburn as Dr. Fauci. Anyway, I God damn it.
Are
I
Qyburn and Marwyn pen pals? No, I think that Qyburn would think that Marwyn was too much of like he would think that Marwyn was a kook. Basically the same way that everyone thinks that Qyburn is crazy, he
mhm.
would think that of Marwyn. Like Marwyn's too magical.
They're
Mhm.
interested in the edges of maesterdom, like, but in different directions.
Yeah,
Where
they're
like
opposite sides of the
Kyburn's
same
like,
Venn diagram.
yeah,
There's
Kyburn's
no
like,
overlap.
You're not letting me get practical enough, and Marwyn is like, you're not letting me
Let me
get
get
like,
mystical enough.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Charlie, I am.
Marwyn is a commie, and Kyburn is an alt right douche.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
you're
convinced.
right.
I am convinced that Cersei would be far right until they said she couldn't be in charge because she's a woman, and then she'd be like, "Oh, bet," and then she'd crash out and burn everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it.
Like that's why I love that though. Like I'm like, please bring in a real life Cersei. We need that. I want her to crash out, burn them
but
all.
on the Kyburn magic or science thing, I think like you're right, Chelsea, in that in the book it definitely feels like it is something that he's doing something akin to like more modern medicine to like
Yeah.
keep this person alive. Um
Yeah.
but the show, his magic is goop, I think.
Just
Or
some goop.
something. Like there's some
Ah,
sort of black goop.
It's like Bane from Poison Ivy. In the which Batman is that? The one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
oh my god.
Batman Forever.
Yes, and
Yes.
that
Bat,
Bane. That's what he reminds me
Batman,
of
yeah,
in
he
the show.
doesn't. The Schumacher Batman.
Yeah, because that's a I just it's like I think there's tubes and like some sort of black goop, and that's how Robert Strong lives.
Do I
Yes,
mean
yes,
Venom?
he's
Is
Bane. Exactly. Yes,
no, he's
exactly.
Bane. I don't mean Venom. I mean Bane. Not Tom Hardy Bane. That's all purr. I'm
No,
talking
no,
the one
no.
that
Yeah,
doesn't
No, because
talk
exactly.
at
Venom is
all.
an alien.
He's
Like
got
Venom's
the.
an alien.
Yeah, he's gonna have something with tubes that go into his head that fill his head up because
Yeah.
they sent his skull to the Dornish.
So it's a new head.
He has a pot
That's what
of
I think.
goop.
So, what do y'all think that is? That like I don't know. Do y'all think that skull is Gregor's, or do y'all think it was
No.
the dwarf?
I think it's a dwarf.
Okay, I mean that's the more. Uh, See, I don't know. For me, I guess it's just headcanon. I want it headcanon. I want
Head
it to
cannon.
be
Yeah, I was.
actually Gregor's skull because his head now is filled with stuff
Goop.
that's gonna
Goop.
yeah
Goop
exactly
by
goop that's
Gwyneth
gonna come
Paltrow.
out
You know,
Yeah,
that's
during
the
the
secret
trial
ingredient.
during Cersei's trial.
Kyburn as Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow is my nightmare. Okay,
He's
one
gonna
time I
he's
did mushrooms and I met my shadow self and it was fucking Gwyneth Paltrow. And I was like, why do you look like a corn husk?
I had a dragon dream, and a giant dragon fell on Gwyneth Paltrow, and the dragon was dead, and Gwyneth Paltrow was still
Lived.
alive.
And I was like, what the fuck? And she brought goop to Westeros. I am a
Uh,
dragon dreamer, so, you know.
uh,
Do I think
amazing.
Alyssa Farman ended up in a shy? This all stems from, right, there's this debate. Are Danny's eggs Dreamfire's eggs? Because that seems straightforward, and fucking Jaehaerys even talks about some fucking cheesemonger or whatever spicemonger
Mhm.
getting the eggs, right? Like, come on. They're Dreamfire's eggs, be serious. But
Yeah.
because of that line about dragons stirring in a shy, people are like, no, because that had to be Danny's egg. No. Like, Illyrio tells Danny they came from a shy.
Right.
Like, and maybe at some point they ventured through a shy, but like they're the same fucking eggs. Like, no
That
one's convincing me different.
that vision to me is about a plot to bring dragons back coming from a shy. So it's like
Yes.
Who do
I
we
like
know
that.
that's from a shy or connected to a shy? There's a lot of
Melisandre.
characters that are have a hand in bringing the dragons back.
But I mean, she's literally called Melisandre of Ashai, right? And like her sole purpose is like waking dragons,
Well,
stirring
I was
dragons.
talking about Quaithe.
Oh, Quaithe for the Shadow, yeah.
No,
Okay.
that yeah, when
And
Bran
the
is having
lacquer
that
mask
vision of
and
dragons coming up from a shy, that's
Oh,
that's
I see.
that's a plot for dragons to come back. That's coming from a shy, I think.
Well,
I think
because that
people
was
take
still
it too
so early
literally
on.
that those are actually dragons that are hatching right now or something.
It's like the scheme is hatching. I see. I see.
Right, yeah. That's what I
Because this
always
is
took that
this
at
was
because then he looks
before,
north and it's like all metaphorical and shit. So
and he wrote that. George wrote that. Well, I think he was still planning to do an Ashai like plot line. Like I do
oh,
think that
yeah.
he had at
Mhm.
one point hoped to have Danny go to Ashai.
Yes.
And I think it
I
could have had
agree.
something
Yeah.
to do with that too. I mean, because then you have Quaithe telling her like, "You'll find truth," and blah blah blah. And I think the glass candles will be the workaround for that. I think it's a really good loophole. I'm like, a lot of people are like very nervous and skeptical and apprehensive about Marwyn and Makoro meeting Danny. I am like on the sidelines, like fucking finally get her some like advisors that know what the fuck they're doing and that aren't
Yeah.
going to try and fuck her.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I'm stoked and they're magical. Like because she needs to be around magical people. She is like one of the crux. Just like how Bran needs to be with someone like Bloodraven, Danny needs to be with magical people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
like Marwyn is the perfect kind of maester for Danny. I know everyone's like wants Sam and Danny to link up, whatever, and I do too, but not necessarily in like a maester kind of way. Like
Well,
I think
not in that way.
Marwyn.
What's
It
Sam?
may be
I
kind of
think
obvious, but isn't
Jamie
Sam just gonna be whoever's gonna be in charge of whatever happens to the Citadel afterwards? Like I don't know, like you know what I mean? Like he's gonna play a part in advancing the Citadel past whatever's holding it back right now, which is all the fucking namely the segregation by gender,
Yeah.
Right.
which is being commented on several times already. Anyways,
I was gonna say what Felly said in the chat. Just the like, what is Sam gonna offer? Like, if Sam links up with Daenerys now, like he doesn't know shit.
He
yeah,
doesn't know
yeah.
shit.
Sam is meant to take out Dario Euron.
The
Like
only
that's
thing
what
he
Sam's
could
gonna do.
know is just stuff
360
that
no scope.
he's definitely going to be mixing up with this glass candle. So like he can have
Yeah,
knowledge in that way, but it's like yeah,
sure.
exactly. In what way is he going to serve in that sense?
But
Yeah,
like
I agree
Marwyn and
completely.
Makoro can tell her shit about dragons,
Exactly.
about Valyrians, the truth about like these systems that she's trying to upend. Because where Danny is at right now, all she knows is that she has this innate pull to want to upend these systems. It has not been contextualized for her yet that it's because she is the reckoning of an entire line of people
Mhm.
going all the way back to arguably the Great Empire of the fucking Dawn.
Yeah.
Like someone needs to be able to contextualize that for her.
Yeah.
And I think Marwyn and definitely Makoro could do that. Marwyn,
And
especially
then
because, he's of the Grandmaster conspiracy. Like, I want to know more about that because,
Yeah, like
well,
he
I don't think
literally
it's
had that clocked. He tells Sam from the very beginning, he was like, yeah, the Maesters didn't have space or room or tolerance of glass candles, dragons, magic, any of that nonsense. And I was like, oh, so you've got their number.
well, and I feel like Marwyn, he has some shit up his sleeves. Like, he's got some documents, some books, something that he's not supposed to have that should have been destroyed. That is like specifically about dragons and maybe Valyria.
Yeah, I love his line. Who do you think killed all the dragons last time around? Gallant dragon slayers armed with swords. It's very funny. 'Cause it's so like of course it's not that's why they had to send Aemon back. He could not be
one
trusted
of my
more than I can, which is like that's why we want him to link up with because he's on the inside, but he's gonna work from the outside.
Yeah.
right.
And finally, maybe someone will tell Daenerys about fucking Aemon. Like,
That's what I was gonna say. Is like between like between Barristan and then Marwyn Makoro, like you then have the people who can contextualize like all of Danny's.
everything.
I
The
need
politics,
Sam
the magic,
to
the
do
dragons,
Yeah.
all of it.
I need Sam to be able to tell her, though, like in his last moments, he was desperately trying to get to you.
Oh my God.
Like, I need her to know that, okay? I need her to know that Aemon was trying so hard. Like, he was eating, man. He started eating again. He was trying to get up his strength. He was trying so hard.
That's so sad. God.
Like, I need her to know that just so she has, like, I think it'll at least make her feel good to a certain degree that she had a family member that loved her enough that he was desperately trying to get to her.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to be there for her. So she wasn't really alone. It's just he was 100,000 years old.
Yeah, I really want Dany to like, because look at what she's been able to do with magic with no fucking information, just with nothing but instinct. And you know, what is this girl capable of when it's like
When
guided,
she's wielding it on
when
purpose.
it's focused, when it's intent, you know, I won't say intentional because what she did with the dragons was intentional, but like just more informed, you know. But then again, I do kind of love this idea that she doesn't need it. Like that she doesn't need to be instructed, that it is all intuitive for her.
This
I also
kid's
feel like
got the stuff.
yeah, which I mean, she does. Sorry, boys.
I
Cry about
also
it.
love, like, I also think that, I mean, Shira has to be Quaithe because, like, the fact that she's clocked who Azor Ahai is and Bloodraven is fumbling the ball with Jon, I love that for him.
Oh yeah, I need Dany in armor. Like, I mean, okay, so my dream, this will never happen, but I will never forgive George for mentioning this in the story and then never bringing it up again, is that fucking Dothraki guy who's with the goat and he has a Valyrian steel auric.
Yeah.
And that's what I want Dany to have. God damn it. People are always like,
Zolo the Fat, which
I want her to have Dark Sister, blah, blah, blah. No, I love that so much more because that girl is Dothraki. Okay? Dothraki, Khaleesi.
which he is one of the men who attacked Brienne. She's already met up with Shagwell and Biter. So Zolo is coming down the pipe.
I am so excited. Like, I mean, obviously, realistically, am I ever going to get it? But like the one big storyline that I really need from Wins, like the one I'm really most looking forward to, is their reaction. Because we see them riding up on her and she's like feasting on a horse with her dragon. But like, I need to know what happens next. Like, what did they say? What did they do? Like, how do you react to that? Like, they've never seen a dragon before. And it's like, whoa, like there's a little girl hanging out, eating a dead horse with a dragon. Like, I need to know the reaction. Because obviously it's not going to be the show.
No. She's gonna go back willingly because she knows to go forward, I must go back. She has to ascend the Mother of Mountains on Drogon. Claim the Princess Stallion Mouse world, liberate the crones, kill those motherfucking calls.
But I'm so excited to like watch that happen.
How do you think the fate of the seven will react to the others?
I always have that picture in my brain when I'm reading a book. So like in my brain, I just watch this stuff play out.
I think the seven will have lost any and all significance by the time the others are around. In that they're fucked. Old Town is about to get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one good thing.
Like the whole reason Euron exists as a character is to uproot the Citadel and the Faith of the Seven. Like that's what he does. And after that, he can go.
It'll just be all the worshippers gathering in what septs are left, you know? Because it's, you know, I would say something like that, the others happening is going to, like, redefine basically everything. So that's what I think is going to happen. How the Faith of the Seven is going to react to the others. They're just going to be completely changed by it. Like every other institution in Westeros.
Yeah.
They keep dismissing it because, what are we talking about? I need to see Westeros Dragons. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I love all those little things in the books where it's like a three-headed dragon has hatched in Karth and is the wonder of that city. And you're like, the fuck? And it's like Dany and her dragons, like those little things. Or I hear all these tales of this and that and Dothraki dragons. That's like one of my favorite throwaway lines.
and
Like, yeah, they are Dothraki dragons.
Cersei's
That's
over
right.
there like, whatever. I am convinced that Cersei and Daenerys will never meet. Like, there will be never a point where they cross paths. Because Cersei's going to be gone by that point.
Yeah, Cersei will be staring out the window of the Red Keep while Dany burns the city. Like, right?
Obviously, just sipping
earning,
her wine.
earning $1 million an episode.
Exactly. I don't know how she's gonna do it, man. But Dany is gonna get over there, liberate the Dothraki, freaking plow through Marine, and get to Cersei before young Griff. I don't know how she's gonna accomplish it all, but man, that girl can move fast.
Oh, Carly, I definitely think that if it were something like what we saw in the show where Cersei blew up the Sept, that the people of the Faith of the Seven would have punished her. Like, that was insane that there was no punishment for Cersei. But what I'm talking about is like the decimation of not just the Starry Sept, but like the entire city, which is like the stronghold of that religion. And so it will be so scattered, and then the others will come and kill so many people that they just wouldn't have the numbers to like effectively do anything once Old Town's gone. I mean, Old Town is the source of their power. And I'm telling you, it's a port city, and you want to know what's popular in port cities? The fucking Church of Starry Wisdom. Yeah, heard it here, folks.
Going to use her teleportation machine, of course. Well, she does. Wait, who are we talking about? We're talking about Daenerys,
Dany,
right? I mean,
Dany
she does
being
have a
able to
thing.
get to King's Landing, and yet, like that whole thing, and especially like with
They can
Cersei
fly.
burning the Sept. And I tell this to people all the time, and sometimes people really forget that the Sept was the one place where Tyrion had the caches of wildfire removed. So that's literally the one place that won't burn.
That's so true.
It doesn't it's just so blowing up the Sept was just so prestige television thinking because they didn't follow through with any of the. It's the same problem with the Rainies coming up through the Dragon Pit floor. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I'm not gonna. So far, I don't care for that decision that they made. But who knows? They could make it make sense by the end. It's just one of those things where it's like it was needless spectacle that they just didn't think through, or they weren't going to think through. And it's a shame with A Song of Ice and Fire because it was just with the main series and Game of Thrones, it was so clearly rushed, and that's part of it is the blowing up. And that's what people liked it still in season 6. That was and people loved that.
But like, what I don't understand is that like, did D&D like they supposedly Dane and David supposedly read the books? Like, did they kind of forget that Tyrion did that? That he
Well, like I said,
that was
it's
the
just-
one
it's-
place
It's
that
just
wouldn't
it doesn't
burn?
matter because it's just like they needed a big explosion and a like quick reason to explain why Cersei could take over so easily. It's like everybody scared of her
but like
because she
nobody
blew up-
said anything.
because she
Like
blew up the
nobody.
Vatican. But it's like if you could like, anyways. The
And then
plot
Randall,
started-
Randall fucking Tarley being like, yes, I bend the knee to Cersei Lannister. Are you fucking high?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Randall Tarley would bend the knee to no woman. Not any
Randall
single
Well,
woman.
not to Cersei.
well, no, like not to
any woman.
He
He
literally
hates
looks
women.
at
Like
Brienne and
any
says
women.
she
Yeah,
needs-
exactly. Yeah.
He tells Brienne she needs a good graping to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is
I'm
a
like,
monstrous piece of
I'm
shit.
like, oh, okay, we're gonna say that now. Like,
It was
yeah,
crazy
wow.
reading.
When there's a pox spreading in his camp, does he punish his men who are passing around a lady of the evening, or does he punish her because
Punishes her for being a disease-carrying fucking whore because that's what they deserve. He's a monster.
and it's not even
he's
just
gross.
that, like Felicity. It's not even just that. Like when you think about it, like she killed the queen. She's responsible for the king killing himself, and like all of the members of the faith are dead. Like, and there's nothing. Nobody's gonna say anything.
No,
We're just
yeah,
gonna
they
be, oh yeah,
killed
cool.
all the heirs of Highgarden. Like Paxter Redwine's wife is a Tyrell. So like what like
Mhm.
what's
Like, it's
why
certainly-
didn't the Reeds do anything? And it's like Well, because the TV.
Yeah.
That's all
They
it
were
I
like,
is.
just
It's just ugh.
Well,
they're
I
because
like, I have a problem, which is there's too many people in the show, and I don't know what to do with all of them, so I'm just gonna put them all in a building and explode it.
I just I don't know. I'll never understand it.
and then it went to Braun. Oh my God, don't I can't even stop it. I don't want to talk about it.
No.
Don't get me going.
What
Speaking of
Braun
sexually
becoming?
transmitted diseases, Braun.
What Braun inheriting Highgarden?
Yes, and being the master of coin when like earlier in the seasons he didn't understand how fucking loan worked. Tyrion had to like tell him how loan worked with the Iron Bank. And he was
Like
like,
it's just so yeah. It's just so like um just not like it's remixing everything that already existed when like everything in A Song of Ice and Fire has basically been new. So it's like they
Mhm.
just stopped creating new things because George, I guess, hadn't made it up yet.
But the way like
It's
I
like
think
people want to blame. Sorry, I'm gonna get on a tangent. People want to blame like George for like not finishing the book or whatever. Like I still like D&D still needed to turn in a good TV show, and even if they didn't have um, source material, like they didn't have their own ideas that were good. Like even if it wasn't authentic or accurate, or even if they still got rid of Fagon and Ariane, um, it still needed to be good. Like, come on.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I mean, when you notice, I mean, you start to notice the decline in the show in season 2. Like if you're a book reader, you see the
That's
decline where they're like picking and taking out all of the fantastical and magical aspects of it, and then you're left with very little. And it's like when you pick it apart that way, is Game of Thrones really as good of a show as what we thought, or was season 1 just so badass that we wanted so badly for the rest of the seasons to follow and live up to that expectation? Like, yes, it had its moments. The show did have its moments like throughout the earlier seasons, but really season 1 was the star of the show because it was the only one that was really very like the book. Like, stick to your source material.
I like
How
season
hard is
3.
that?
I think season 3 is probably my favorite of the show. But
I don't
also that's
know.
because it's like really it's a really faithful adaptation of Danny. Well, okay, that's being generous. It's a mostly faithful adaptation of
Mhm.
Danny's chapters.
But it's also conveniently when she's like her most violent, in the books.
Yeah,
Well,
and
and
I look at
not
that
only that,
too.
they take out everything that has any like implication that these are all her ideas on how to take these cities. Like she comes up with all of these fucking plans with like
Mhm.
little to no advice from the men around her. But in the show, they're like, Barristan said this and Jorah said this, when they're actually things that Danny
Yeah.
said in the books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and I mean, I know like some of this stuff is smaller, but it's like how they did the red wedding. Everybody was like, "Oh, that was like the most profound moment in TV." And I mean, yes, it was, but also they changed so much about it that it kind of like, as someone who read the books before watching it, I was disappointed. I was like, so Rob
Okay,
sacrificed everything because he fell in love. I thought that it was much more true to the son of Ned Stark to sacrifice his word based on honor. Like, that's Ned's son right there. That is a classic Ned move to be like, oh, I slept with Jane, so I better marry her really quick. Like, that's such a
I mean,
Ned thing to
okay,
do.
Carly, in my defense, season 3 was coming off of season 2 of Danny. Like, season 3 compared to the adaptation we were given in season 2 of Clash of Kings. Yeah. I was like, damn, okay, we're back on track. Sue me.
No, I mean, yeah, like like I said, the earlier seasons were good, but I feel like just I don't know. I feel like wow, we're gonna make a show and the books aren't even finished, and maybe it's kind of like with the Harry Potter series. They just assumed he would finish the books while they were doing the show. And I mean, this is George R. R. Martin we're talking about. You should have waited. You should have waited, man.
I uh
Yeah.
I think like to I think well I saw my co-host Belak from Pod of the Seven Kingdoms in the chat and just saying that like the D&D like have no excuses because they had access to the author like
Yeah.
so if they ever were like, "Hey, we have this idea," like they could have easily gone to George about it, and they just decided to start doing shit in the late seasons, especially.
The way George describes it is that they basically thought like he was contracted to like so far write an episode per season, and then when that ended, they just kind of stopped talking.
Yeah,
They stopped calling him about stuff. They stopped asking him questions, and it was just
yeah.
like he
And we
got
could
himself cut out of
tell.
the whole
We could
thing.
tell. We could
The
tell that was pretty. That was pretty obvious. Like the whole thing, man, was just
You guys,
something.
you guys, I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. I have to go.
same.
It's past my bedtime. Eric didn't
Yeah.
understand that phrase. Do you guys understand that phrase? Like, I'm gonna turn
Yeah.
into a pumpkin, right? Like Cinderella.
Yes.
Okay, Eric was like, "What the fuck are you talking about pumpkins for?" And I was like, "Because I'm a princess and I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin." Okay.
That's not what
Exactly.
happens in the movie, though.
Her
I guess the
carriage turned
carriage
into a
is going to
pumpkin.
turn
Her
into
carriage turns
yeah.
back into a
He
pumpkin.
doesn't turn into a pumpkin, though.
Yes, it does.
It does.
No, she doesn't.
It totally does. As she's running, it starts to turn back into a pumpkin, and then she runs away, and then the horse tramples.
Yeah,
the
but Eric,
pumpkin.
Eric is saying technically, though,
But
Cinderella.
Cinderella doesn't turn into a pumpkin.
Well, it sounds funnier than saying, "Okay, I gotta go ahead and
My
turn into a
carriage is
peasant."
about to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, or my carriage is gonna become a pumpkin.
Oh, my carriage is about to enter pumpkin mode. So
Okay,
here's
yes.
where we are going to say goodbye.
Good night.
And thank you to everyone joining to want to hear us talk about Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is clearly our favorite part of the series. Anyways,
Yeah,
I want
I
to
would
thank
say-
Phil,
yeah, I would say it's fine.
Damon Backfire, Baki Balboa on YouTube for joining us tonight. Be sure to check out his. Sorry, what is your deep dive podcast on
Yes.
The Hedge Knight?
Yeah, A Pot of the Seven Kingdoms. So we're doing the three Duncan Egg novellas to start. We'll see what happens from there, but it's a very, very close reread, like 10-ish pages per episode, and discussing like all the themes, all the different, just analyzing all of the things, connections to the main series, all that stuff.
It's good.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
it's good.
It's very good. Do check it out.
It is a book
And-
about class, just letting everybody know.
Just in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I forgot who it was in the chat who was just like naming topics we'd already talked about. If you missed anything, this whole thing will be posted on our YouTube and Spotify for video and audio listening. So, and look out for clips. We try to make clips for the short form stuff. But yeah. So, anything else anybody needs to add right now before we turn into pumpkins?
No. Somebody order eggs. Egg is a locket. Damn it.
Final
Yes,
thoughts,
Locket drop on 420.
420.
Chelsea. Final
Get
thoughts
it?
on: do you like John the Fiddler? Do you think he's a cool guy or not?
Yeah, he's giving so much gay. How could I not?
I love him.
He's very light and
I
salad.
think he's my baby girl, and I will defend him like all the way down.
Yeah, no, immediately. That's why I was like, who the fuck is this John the
And one
Fiddler?
more question. Did Dunk have a panic moment in the beginning with John?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
say he did.
Okay.
I mean, pulling the hair. Come on. Coming
Yeah,
fresh.
he wanted.
Coming fresh
He's
off
like,
of...
he's like, for a second, I thought about tugging his forelock. He's like, oh wait, stop.
Like, well, he's got like a braid in his back pocket. Come on.
Yeah.
We know, Dunk. It's okay.
Damn,
You're
I
in
was
good
gonna say,
company.
what happened? What does he do with that braid?
I kept wondering that. Because that was another thing is he thinks about Tansel more than he thinks about Rohan at least in A Mystery Night. I counted because I was curious. And I forgot where I was going with it. Oh shit.
Oh, he had that dream about the two of them, and he was like, I was really pissed about that. And I was like,
I kept wondering what the fuck he did with the braid. That's what it was.
Yeah.
All throughout the Mystery Night, I was like, where's the braid? Are you keeping it in your, like, on your person? Like, maybe that's why you got hit in the face. Maybe you should have had it on your person.
I'm thinking
He's like
yeah.
Lord Commander of the Kingsguard with this fucking old ass hair. Like,
It totally makes me think of, have you guys seen Bones and All, the movie?
No.
Fuck. All right, never mind. It's a use. I can't explain this one. This
I could totally see Dunk keeping it though, like years and years later, like he's still got it.
Oh, for sure. Bury him with it.
Yeah. Exactly. I get it, Dunk. I get it.
Okay. Here I go. I'm turning into a pumpkin. Bye.
Bye bye,
Bye.
y'all. Have a good night.
Bye, you
Later,
guys.
guys.
Thanks again for joining, Phil.
Yeah, appreciate it.